Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown sports headlines. The Sacramento Kings were defeated 80-70 last night against the Los Angeles Clippers in the Las Vegas Summer League. Top pick Colby Jones led the Kings with 19 points, making 8 of 13 shots, while Keon Ellis scored 16. The Kings shot a Summer League low 37% from the field as a team. The Kings play their third Las Vegas Summer League game tonight against the Chicago Bulls. The game tips off at 7:30 p.m. on ESPN2. In baseball, Vladmir Guerrero Jr. defeated Randy Arozarena to win the 2023 Home Run Derby. Tonight at 5 p.m. is the MLB All-Star Game from Seattle. If you miss any of today's show, head to SactownSports.com and listen to all 4 hours of the show on our podcast and YouTube feeds. Those are your headlines. It's time for the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown.
You know what? I've been around a lot of good chair dancers. I'm immediately putting you in the top 5.
Appreciate that.
And this is from a distance. I'm in Vegas. You're in Sacramento. But you're pretty elite chair dancer.
Thank you. A lot of hip work goes into that. You know, a lot of stretching. I always tell people take care of your body, especially at this age.
You know what they say, Jay? Hips don't lie.
They do not lie.
Yes.
Actually, hips tell more truths than you'll ever know.
Yes. How are you this morning?
It's Prime Day. I'm phenomenal. How are you?
Prime Day. What does that mean to you?
That means I'm going to buy something that I normally wouldn't buy, and then 2 weeks from now, be like, why did I do that?
Yeah, but did you get a deal?
Did I get a deal?
Did he get
Do I look like a guy, Jason, that hops on Amazon on Prime Day and doesn't see the little Prime Day deal red label and click on it?
You look like a guy that would buy a 30-cent Sacramento Kings card on Prime Day.
Okay, so I'm that guy that does that 364 other days out of the year. So, yeah,
Yes.
no. You got me pinned. Good job.
So it's
Thank
just
you.
one day? Why not more, Prime? Come on, Amazon.
No, I think it's 2 days.
Okay, good. We can make it a 2-day event. It's an event.
It's a spectacle.
Yeah, it is. Instead of the SBs, instead of the All-Star game, it's Prime Day.
Honest to God, I would be way more interested in watching a TV show that had the best Prime Day deals than the ESPYs.
You know what? That's probably true. I would, of the ESPYs for sure. I mean, here's what I bought that's normally $800. I got it for $426.
Isn't this just the Home Shopping Network?
Yeah, kind of, but
better.
It's different. Yeah, it's a little better. We call it the Primies, hosted by Carmichael Dave.
Yeah, and, you know, I've spent about 4 minutes on the Home Shopping Network, but every time I ever have, I feel like those hosts are on a generous amount of crack.
Yeah, no. Who's the guy? He recently passed away. Don West. Do you remember Don West?
I bet I saw him, but I couldn't place his name and face.
So as a child with cable television, Don West would be on. It was either QVC or HSN. It was one of the two. And he always did the baseball and basketball card sets. And he is just cracked out. It's like 2 in the morning. Look, oh my God, look at all these cards you can get. It's 5,000 cards for only $400. Look, oh my God, it's a Mark McGwire card. Oh my God, this could be yours in so many more. And he's like going ape. And then there's me waking my mom up at like 2 in the morning. Mom, we can get 1,000 cards for like $400. This is a Mark McGwire.
Did it ever work? Did your mom cave in?
No, never actually worked.
Your mom was a responsible parent.
Yes, but my grandfather for my birthday bought me like one of those QVC sets one time.
And do you still have it?
I still have it.
Okay.
And
is it worth anything?
No. It's like basically they would put like, I mean, you're getting like 84 Donruss, right? But it is all like the most commons you could imagine with like no good players. But then they throw in a good player every once in a while, and it would always be the same player. So like in that particular set, I have a bunch of guys nobody's ever heard of and like 14 Fred Lynn cards.
Hey, Fred Lynn, one-time All-Star, hit a grand slam off Atlee Hammaker in the All-Star game.
Wow.
Stuff that you did not need to know that I somehow it's still in here, Jay. Like when people ask like certain factoids that I should know that I don't. But I know that Fred Lynn hit an All-Star game off home run, a grand slam home run off Atlee Hammaker in the All-Star game.
And I apologize for saying why. Like, I'm not the exact same way you are with just random knowledge that nobody should ever have.
But
like,
you know what? I'm glad I had it because it came out. I needed it one time. I don't even know if we needed it, but I had it.
Well, that was part of pre-show prep in my own mind was like, how could I get Jason to give me a Fred Lynn highlight?
Perfect setup. Morning? You just knew.
I know.
You knew I had it.
I know. Hey, you know what? That's years of working together, friend. That's called chemistry.
That is. I'm here in Vegas. Jay is in our lovely studios in Sacramento. Vegas is weird still.
It's dirty.
It's a thing. I will say this: the Sphere. You've probably seen videos of the Sphere.
I have.
It's unreal.
Okay, so you went and how close did you get to the Sphere?
I wasn't that close. So here's another.
I heard if you get too close, it burns you.
Yeah, I could. I was far enough away, but I still felt the heat from the Sphere. And the heat from just in general. So last night, truth be told, I was at the Kings game, and yeah, that was that was bad. I'm always the guy like, oh, you go to a game, you got to stay to the end of the game. Well, we got an early morning show, and that game was awful. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to. I left just a few minutes before the end of the game. Like, let me get started. Let me get back. I'll do some show stuff. Well, the Kings were the second of the two games. And it was the last game. The other game ended already, and I'm walking out and thinking, well, this is good. I'm going to get ahead of everybody. I was not ahead of anybody, and the people that were there were all in line for the taxi. And I went, oh, man, this is going to be – or Uber. And this is going to be a while. And it was warm but not gross. And I said, you know what? Let me get my steps in.
Yeah.
So I walked, which – it was a walk, but on the walk, Jay, is when I just kept peering to the right. I go, oh my gosh, there's the Sphere. And it was like motion picture. I was just watching it on my walk because it just kept changing. It's amazing. I got to get closer to it, but I could see it enough, and it was just awesome.
What were the different things projected onto the Sphere? Did you get to see the basketball Sphere?
It wasn't the basketball when I went by, but it was fire, it was water, it was stars, it was lights.
Those are the elements.
Yeah, it was. I was caught up in it. I was just like, this is amazing. And you could see it on the flight in. You could see the strip, especially, I mean, it's harder during the day, but not that impossible. Saw the Allegiant Stadium, saw all the stuff. And I go, oh my gosh, there's a Sphere. And I could only imagine flying in at night when that thing's going, how awesome that would look.
Oh, no, that has to be like, you're in Vegas, win type thing. You see the Sphere lit up. So that's like one of the cool things I saw. And I think people forget also, like, the Sphere is actually like a venue.
Yeah,
it's a concert venue. Yeah, it's not just
doing a residency.
They didn't just build this big thing to project things on. It's like an actual concert venue. I'll say this: did you get to downtown Vegas last night?
I did not.
Good
was I missing
for you.
Something? What happened?
No, I just saw Deuce was there. He had posted on his Instagram account. And I don't know if anyone listening has ever been to downtown Vegas.
Like old Vegas, like
old
Fremont
Vegas.
Street?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Dude, that just looks like an uncured venereal disease. It is so disgusting down there.
Is that what Deuce was searching for?
I don't know. You'll have to ask Deuce that. I would hope not. But that's just like immediately, that's like the vibe. Like you're going to get something because everything is airborne down there. It feels like, it looks like. But cheap drinks and corn dogs in downtown Vegas.
Is that what he was publishing and posting?
He's not publishing that. He just posted a video of him down there. I'm just going over like the things I noticed when I had to stay down there once in Vegas. It's an experience. I just kind of leave it at that.
Yeah.
Downtown Vegas is weird. Like, you think the Strip is weird, bro? Downtown Vegas is like a town that looks like it should have died 30 years ago, but somehow it's still like, it looks like the lady with the hole in her neck smoking the cigarette. Like, that's downtown Vegas.
Wow.
Seriously, it's weird.
Yeah. Well, and I remember this from last year being here, and I'm thankful to everybody here at the studios that are setting me up. But when I'm, leaving the hotel at, I don't know, I left there to get here at 5:15 or so. I feel like I'm doing it wrong. Like I'm starting my day, but everybody I saw was still ending yesterday.
Oh yeah, no, there's still probably a few hours from actually officially ending yesterday.
Yeah, they're still dressed up. They look nice. They may not be in the best shape, but they're playing slots.
They may not be in the best shape.
Well, the amount I saw.
Why don't you describe in a little further detail what that means?
All those 3 a.m. corn dogs.
Yeah. Well, this was. I think this has almost been universally perfect. I'm going to see if I can break the streak. But the two individual ladies I saw today that were walking by themselves were holding their shoes.
Oh,
they were wearing lovely dresses, but like the heels were too much. So they were walking somewhat upright around the casino holding their shoes. I went, well.
Barefoot?
Yeah. Yeah. So they've already had a day and a night and I guess a morning, and they're whenever their yesterday started, it still hadn't quite finished, but I felt like it was getting close. And here I am walking through the hotel, like I'm awake. Here's my work bag, and I'm going to work. Everybody, it's like I'm doing this wrong.
Well, some of them may have had their work bag too, Jason.
Yeah, different kind of work. That's not a corn dog.
Well, it may have been 2 hours prior to.
My goodness. But yeah, Vegas is a special place. And we saw special basketball last night that I know we're going to talk about. And at some point,
you seem really juiced to talk about this.
Well, I think what I'm most intrigued to talk about is like when there's a joke or something that's said that you don't know that you're curious about. So our own Whitey Gleason posted a very interesting tweet about Isaiah Thomas. And then you backed it up and supported it. So at some point, I have got to hear of the analyst of the game who interviewed Monty McNair about this conversation they had, which might have been more interesting the game for different reasons.
I don't know if interesting is the word I'd use, but you've been doing this a long time. Have you ever sat down and had a guest where you just knew nothing about them and you knew you had to get 10 minutes out of an interview?
It's really, really rare, but I would try my best to do some sort of homework.
Okay. But
really rare.
Okay, but I've had that moment where it's just like someone was throwing at me last second. I'm like, okay, I got to stretch this for 10 minutes. I know nothing about this person. It sounded like, and Whitey hit the nail on the head when he said it sounded like Isaiah Thomas hasn't watched or like done any sort of research on the Kings since like Scott Pollard era.
Man, but I mean, Isaiah just in general is a basketball guy. Just ask, I don't know. I don't know how he could.
He asked basketball questions, but it was like the way he dragged. I'll get into more detail later.
Okay, so we've got that coming up today. We've got a recap, a thrilling home run derby. We got the All-Star game tonight. We will have a guest from here, Bob Gerald. He was in town. He's still here. He's a hoops junkie. He's literally, Jay, he's here for the whole thing. Like the funny thing is the people I ran into yesterday from the Kings that have been here since maybe Thursday or Wednesday. Thursday, because the Classic was Wednesday. They were here Thursday. Everybody is already ready to go home. And I'm the guy that gets here yesterday after. I'm like, hey, everybody. Like, like what? They're like, yeah, I'm so ready to go home. Like, you guys got to, like, till the end of the week. Yeah, I'm ready to go home.
You're the guy who shows up to the party too late.
I'm too late. I'm holding my shoes and eating a corn dog, and nobody's paying attention to me.
Oh, boy. Well, I'm paying attention to you this morning. I saw that you got pretty for me. You cleaned it up, everything. Look at you, smooth like a baby's bottom.
Well, it's not totally smooth. It's one of those things where I was shaving, and I'm like, oh, man, I think I went too far there. I'll take it down a little bit more. And then I'd had the beard for a while. It'll be back in 10 minutes.
Yeah, no, I was going to say it'll be back by the end of the show.
So we've got a lot to get to. Bob Gerald will join us at 9. We've got all things to cover from baseball, the All-Star game tonight, Kings news, NBA news, Niners coverage. It's all here, and we get it started with leading off next.
It's Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Just in general, I don't want to see a no-hitter. I would...
In general?
Yes.
You don't want to be part of history?
No!
You don't even want your team throwing a no-hitter?
No! No! I paid money to watch the ball be hit over the fence. I did not pay money to see nobody hit a baseball for 2 hours. What?
It's Whitey and Watkins, debuting Monday, July 10th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Byers Leaf Guard Gutter System and Roofing.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's Tuesday. We're out the door to a mild start to the day as we head through the afternoon. Plenty of sunshine, light southwest winds, and temperatures warmer with highs in the mid-90s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
To protect your home from the top down, start from the roof line up. Get clog-free Byers Leaf Guard gutters, fire-safe roofing from Byers Roofing, and power your home with Byers Solar. Act now for $500 off Byers Leaf Guard gutters at thatsbyers.com.
If you're hiring, it can feel like trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Now try ZipRecruiter free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/FREE.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Let's do it. Leading off, the 3 top stories in the morning.
Huge news. This is very important.
Here's cut number 1.
And the jump ball goes to Sacramento. Allen's leaking out.
They scored?
They made it.
Okay.
Must have gone well. It was Colby Jones, Keon Ellis, and alley-oop. Game must have been great.
Not so much. Did it look different on TV?
No, it looked exactly the same as it looked in person.
There was
absolute train wreck.
I don't remember how long it was 2-0 for or 3-0, but
All
I'm
game?
like, are the Kings gonna score? Are they trying here? And then they got going a little bit. First quarter wasn't so bad by the end of the first quarter. Then there was a run by the Clippers, and in the end, does Summer League matter? No, but you're trying to get some things. I think by the end of the game, though, Jay, I will say this: Colby Jones, I thought, put together a pretty good game, 19-9, and that's the kind of stuff you're looking for. But I thought the team in general was one of their worst Summer League games they played in a while.
Yeah, I would tell you this: if you did not watch the game last night, and maybe you DVR'd it or whatnot, you're going to watch a
erase.
Don't. Just go to YouTube, look up Colby Jones highlights from the game. That's really all you got to do. And if you want to get really advantageous, look up Keon Ellis was fine last night, I guess. That's pretty much all I got for you.
Yeah, I mean, again, these guys that Colby Jones, who the Kings did sign as a second-round pick to that new kind of offer that you can do a 4-year deal. I think a couple of it's guaranteed. I'm trying to put myself when I was watching him last night. Look, the game's not going well. But I'm going, okay, let's say he's in the mix. Like, I don't think Kessler Edwards has looked that great, but I thought Kessler Edwards with Fox and Herder and Sabonis and Barnes or whatever, like when he was out on the floor, I'm like, yeah, he looks like a dude. And then I think that's what we're seeing. To me, I think Colby Jones would fit if he gets run with the main crew. But when he's kind of asked to be more of the main guy, I don't think he's that guy yet. And that's okay. He doesn't have to be.
No. I mean, listen, Colby Jones is probably somewhere slotted on this roster 11 through 15.
Yeah.
Pretty safe to say, right? So
right.
I don't expect Colby Jones to get a lot of run this season unless there's obviously injuries. Now that may change everything. But he's a guy you look at, and when Monty McNair said the big thing why they wanted and they moved up to draft Colby Jones was they liked what he can do on both sides of the floor. And I thought that was really on display last night. I thought he played really good defense. And then, he has a little bit of ability on offense to do everything. 3-ball looked good last night.
Mm-hmm.
He can get to the basket. He can play make a little bit. I do think he is someone that over the next couple years, though, as we watch him develop, can develop into a really good NBA role player. And that's kind of what I'm seeing with him.
Yeah, and I think, I don't know. It almost felt like they told him, much like they told Keegan in the Classic, like, go get it, go attack, go do something. I felt like for the longest time, like he was just kind of playing and letting the game come to him. Then I felt like he got a little more aggressive. I think a guy that's partly guilty of that is their other second-round pick is Jalen Slauson. I feel like he's more passive and looking to get others involved, which isn't entirely a bad thing. But to me, so far, again, way early, and it's not like these final scripts are written on these guys, but I haven't seen a lot, unfortunately, yet from Jalen Slauson.
Not that I was expecting to see a ton from Jalen Slauson. He's on a 2-way deal. I mean, he was, 54th?
Yeah.
In the draft. Usually guys picked around that time are drafting stashes or huge developmental projects. And Jalen Slauson right now looks like a guy that's going to be a developmental project over the next couple of seasons. So I really came in with like I said, not too high hopes on him. The guys I was looking for was, okay, Kessler, Edwards, and kind of to your point, I think Kessler, I don't think Summer League and playing with the players he's playing with is necessarily helping his game at all.
Yeah.
You know, he's definitely a guy that's going to benefit from playing with better players, as are most guys. But someone like Kessler, who's not a ball-dominant guy, really needs to be around better talent in order for him to thrive, in my opinion. And again, I think Keon Ellis is showing that he's made some strides over the last season or so. Again, he's again the guy that's going to be on a two-way deal, I believe. So we'll see, again, a lot of him in Stockton this year. But I've liked what I've seen from him. Liked what I've seen from Colby Jones. He'll be a guy that, again, I think could develop over the next couple of years into a good NBA role player. A little disappointed Nemi went out yesterday because he's kind of the guy I've been really keeping my eye on as a potential 14th or 15th roster spot guy for this team.
Yeah, and then when he left, he played, I think 9 to 10 minutes. I mean, that was an impact on the game. Certainly he had been playing well, but didn't get that opportunity to finish that game. So we'll have more of an update on him to see what else he could do as this summer league rolls along. But let's get you to cut number 2.
Cut number 2.
Popped it up. Gotta have one. I don't think he did it. He did not do it. Vladmir Guerrero Jr. will hang on and win the 2023 T-Mobile Home Run Derby.
All right, we were talking about the Derby being exciting. It was great. That was a show and a half. Those guys were awesome. Seattle showed up, showed out, and the players. And I know we'll go over later, Jay, between me and Kyle, we had 3 different categories. I think we had the field covered with the exception of Vladmir Guerrero. We missed the guy who won it.
Well, he got picked for something, right?
Nope, we just
skipped over him, period. I'm looking at it now. Oops.
We missed everything about it. We got all 7 others on different categories. Just nothing for Vlad, the guy who ended up winning it. But Rodriguez put on a show. All of them put on a show, honestly. I mean, there was Rutschman when he switch hit. I mean, it was awesome.
Kyle, you are a self-proclaimed sports anarchist, right?
Yes,
like
that
you
is how I
hate
describe
everything.
It. I just root for chaos.
You hate everything.
Don't hate everything.
No,
root
you
for
hate
chaos.
everything. Watch this, Jason. Kyle, were you entertained by the home run derby last night?
I was incredibly entertained by the home run derby last night.
He told me that this morning. I was shocked. I figured he would come in and be like, you know, Julio's 41 wasn't that great if you think about it.
My cold heart has been melted. The home run derby always gets me. I will sit down for 2.5 hours in a way that sometimes I don't with playoff basketball games.
I thought Kyle's take was going to be the pitching was terrible.
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. I was expecting a take in that realm.
They couldn't get anybody out.
Something totally anti. Well, no, they got Adolis Garcia out last night.
I'm not even kidding you. I Googled Randy Arozarena jerseys during the derby last night.
That's something.
I thought you get the boots.
Jason, did you get to watch any of it, or did you go highlights?
You know what? Well, so I got to the arena and heard about Julio because the first person I ran into, Doug Christie, he's a huge Mariner fan, and he had been working with Sabonis in LA, and he just got to Vegas. He's like, oh, but I saw Julio. I'm like, oh, what'd he do? And then he told me, I went, wow. And it got to the point where when I got back to the room last night, I knew who won. I saw highlights, but I watched it. It was too good. I had to watch it. So I was up late watching it on the replay.
Yeah, I watched it live, and I watched highlights again this morning of Julio. That 41
ridiculous
was a show.
Yeah, but there were a lot of shows, but his was
my favorite show.
Yeah, the crowd. But I thought Rutschman going to the righty on the bonus time, and he hit almost all home runs on it. Just everything about it was great. And then, the home crowd wanted Rutschman, then Luis Robert just goes over there, beats him. Pete Alonso was good, but he got overshadowed by, man, it was incredible.
Not enough deadlifts for Pete Alonso.
Yeah, true.
More deadlifts.
We got more on that coming up. All right, let's get our final cut in leading off.
Cut number 3.
Everyone was asked their favorite superheroes. You said Scooby-Doo. I didn't realize Scooby-Doo was a superhero. Can you kind of explain his superhero lore?
I mean, well, first off, he's a dog, right? And he can talk.
Fair enough. Okay.
And he solves mysteries. So I think that a dog that can talk and helps people by solving mysteries, I think is a superhero.
Okay, Jay, here's what's great. I need context for this, but if that was NBA, I probably could identify the voice. I don't know who that is.
That is Nick Castellanos yesterday being asked about his favorite superhero.
Okay.
And, we're just throwing that in there. It's All-Star game. These are the type of hard-hitting questions you get during All-Star.
Good answer.
Great. I actually thought it was a perfect answer.
Well, I mean, he solves mysteries. Come on, he talks.
And he
He's a
talks.
talking dog.
It's true. Like, I mean, I
Underrated.
think that kind of classifies you as a superhero.
Yeah.
Not all heroes wear capes, some wear collars.
And can talk to their dogs, and they could walk upright. Like,
drive around in green and blue vans.
Yeah, not questioned at all. Like, just kind of live their best life.
Yeah, no, big Scooby-Doo guy.
Yeah, All-Star game tonight. You're a big Scooby-Doo guy.
Who's not?
When was the last time you watched Scooby-Doo? Does Isaiah like Scooby-Doo?
I'm trying to get him to watch, like 57 movies. And he's just like, he's not ready to commit to Scooby yet. I've showed him some trailers of some movies. He's just not there yet.
Yeah, were you Scrappy guy? Scrappy-Doo?
Scrappy was cool. I like Scrappy. I know a lot of people hate Scrappy, but I thought Scrappy was fine.
I just didn't know if they were just going too far. It's like when the family sitcom adds a baby out of nowhere. You're like, okay, we got another kid in the family.
Here's why the sitcom thing goes wrong is the family is like, they're really trying to like push this baby on you. And I think that's why people initially reject it. Where Scrappy came in doses.
Yeah.
And that was fine. It's like if they made Scrappy-Doo a character in every episode, it would have been an issue. But you got doses of Scrappy. That's why it worked.
Yeah, the family that adds the baby, the problem with that generally, Jay, is like, okay, it's late in the sitcom's run. They add the baby, and then surprisingly, the final year, the baby's like 13. You're like, wait, they were just one.
Yeah, no, there's a jump from like infant to 13.
Yeah.
And it's like also like, dude, nobody wants to see the aging parents with the baby because it's always the same shtick. Oh, we're too old to be your parents, but here we're going to try.
Yeah.
Come on.
Why are they Bane?
Well, Kyle, you have not seen enough 80s and 90s sitcoms.
Yeah.
You would understand why they're Bane. If you
What do you think
did.
Kyle's favorite sitcom would have been from the 80s and 90s?
Kyle looks like a Family Matters guy.
Okay. I buy
Although
it.
I take that back. I got to find what was like the worst one, and he would somehow be a fan of it.
Wow, okay. I didn't realize that was the reputation I'd built up.
Yeah,
here.
no, that's what you're doing.
Well, you like chaos. You like chaos. We've got chaos. All right.
This is your ally.
All right, that is leading off. When we come back, it's baseball's all-star game. It's tonight. We also have Safe or Out. That is next here on Sactown Sports.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
Are you ready for an incredible pre-owned blowout at Elk Grove Kia? Elk Grove Kia has got you covered with over 300 used cars, SUVs, vans, and trucks available. Every single one of our vehicles has gone through an extensive 150-point inspection, so you can buy with complete confidence. We stand by our cars and offer a bring-it-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, simply return it. Worried about your credit? Don't be. At Elk Grove Kia, we have 100 years of combined experience in helping our customers get the best financing options available. Charge-offs, repossessions, foreclosures, bankruptcies, no problem. Our team specializes in finding solutions for every credit situation. But before you even step foot in our dealership, let us show you what we can do for you. Give us a call or visit our website, and our dedicated team will work with you to find the perfect vehicle and the best financing options. Elk Grove Kia is your destination for incredible pre-owned deals. Visit us today at Elk Grove Kia or check us out online at elkgrovekia.com.
Turn your highway into a smileway. Elk Grove Kia.
At Ashton and Price, over the last 25 years, we've won just about every injury case you can think of. Slip and fall, falling merchandise, fell through rotted decking, we won those. Dangerous stairs, falls into holes, dog bites, won them. Injured while pedestrian or on a bicycle, auto, motorcycle, big rig, company vehicle, Uber, or Lyft accident, we've won them all. And the best news is there's no fee until you win. So no matter how you got injured.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So what do you provide? Cookie cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Did you know about 1/3 of our lives is spent sleeping? Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. If we're going to spend that much time in our bedrooms, then our bedrooms ought to reflect our personalities. I remember many weekend mornings when our kids would jump into our beds trying to coax us to start our days more on their schedules than ours. Naturewood Home Furnishings' huge bedroom sale is here, and there's no better time to find the perfect accent piece for your bedroom, or even better, to start fresh by designing your bedroom to fit your lifestyle. From a new mattress and foundation to dressers to nightstands to lamps and more. Naturewood Home Furnishings will help you create a space from simple to luxurious and anything in between. Just drop by and let Naturewood's team help you envision a bedroom fit for 1/3 of your life. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable bedroom sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Good morning, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. The Sacramento Kings were defeated 80-70 last night against the Clippers in the Las Vegas Summer League. Top draft pick Colby Jones led the Kings with 19 points, making 8 of 13 shots, while Keon Ellis had 16 points. The Kings shot a Summer League low 37% from the field as a team. The Kings play their third Las Vegas Summer League game tonight against the Chicago Bulls. The game tips off at 7 o'clock p.m. on ESPN2. If you missed any of today's show, head to SactownSports.com and listen to all 4 hours of the show on our podcast and YouTube feeds. Those are your headlines. It's time for Safe or Out on this All-Star Game Tuesday.
Safe or out? It's time to go around baseball. 3 pitches, 3 swings. It's safe or out on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
All right, we're going to get to safe or out here in just 1 second. Jay, people are trying to crack the code of what would be Kyle's favorite 80s or 90s sitcom. We've got Alf as an entry.
That's a really good one.
You mentioned Harry and the Hendersons to me during the break. That's fantastic. Punky Brewster. There's some good entries for Kyle.
Oh, do you remember? What's the one? Her name is Evie. She can stop time.
Oh yeah,
with the fingers like that.
Is that Small World or something?
No, I think Small World's with the robot girl. He would have liked that too.
Oh well, what was the difference? She couldn't do that.
No, Evie wasn't a robot. She was half alien, half human.
Oh, forgive me.
Come on.
Looks like Out of This World.
Out of This World.
Out of This World. What did I say?
You said Small Wonder.
Oh, okay.
Again, that was a little creepy robot girl. That show is just weird, man.
All right.
Like half alien, half human Evie, fine. But like little robot girl, she gave off like the vibes of a serial killer.
Yeah.
Like she was murdering you in your sleep.
That was good for kids to watch too.
Yes.
Wasn't it? Yeah. 80s were 90s were a wonderful time for television.
80s and 90s were wild.
Wild.
Also, Kyle, I feel like if you were a 90s kid, you'd have been a big Free Willy guy.
Oh,
you mean the movie with the whale?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've seen that movie. It's okay, I guess. I mean, I don't know. It was just a movie.
I can just picture the whale jumping over you, and you're like, yeah.
Yeah. Hands up in the air.
Yes.
Yep.
See, I grew up going to SeaWorld, so maybe I have a different experience with the whales.
He's really been in the tank with killer whales.
He has.
All right, what do you have for
Kyle definitely got to pet the dolphin at the dolphin show.
Yes, for sure.
I have done that before, but not at the show.
Then you broke the rules.
No, just you're allowed to pet them while they just swim around and stuff.
You and Flipper. Yeah. All right, let's go for safe or out. What do you have for us, Kyle?
Safe or out?
I don't know if you've heard, but the Major League Baseball All-Star Game is tonight.
What?
Safe or out, is this the best all-star game in all of sports?
I don't think it's close. I think it's safe. Yes, it is.
I agree.
The Pro Bowl, just throw that out. I think the NBA's gotten better.
What? You're throwing the Pro Bowl out?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, look at that. Like this thing where the NBA players go unless they're hurt. All the people that make the Pro Bowl don't even go. They used to go to Hawaii just for a free trip to Hawaii and then say, oh, I'm suddenly hurt and I don't want to play. So that's out. Basketball's gotten better. And it's a showcase. It's an exhibition.
I feel like basketball's gotten worse.
Do you think so?
It goes in cycles. They change one thing, people get excited.
It's not even about the changes. It's just about like guys do not care. It's almost getting to Pro Bowl levels for me on that.
Yeah.
Whereas like again, growing up watching the All-Star games of the 90s, even late 80s, they actually cared. It was a competitive basketball game and it was fun to watch.
Yeah, so to me it's the best by far. Maybe hockey's up there, but to me it's baseball.
Yeah, it's an exhibition at the end of the day, so like none of them are great. But yeah, if I had to rank the three, it's baseball's number one with a bullet. Because it still seems like there is a level of pride that the guys take in the game itself, which is fun to watch. And it's also, we've had so many great like all-star memories with baseball. Like there's only like a handful in the NBA All-Star game where like you can go down memory lane all day of the MLB All-Star game. It always produces something.
Yeah, the equivalent would be if the pitchers who are there based on merit of a first half of the season just served up home run derby, and they don't. They try to get the hitters out. So it's an authentic. I mean, it's true to the game. I think it's the closest to a regular season game with the best players. That's why it's great.
Yeah, and kind of to the same vein, it's like guys are trying to get hits. Like nobody wants to be shown up by the pitchers.
Right.
So no, they are competitive out there. So no, the MLB All-Star game is the best. I don't even think it's particularly close.
Safe or out number 2.
Safe or out?
Shohei Ohtani said in an interview yesterday that his drive to play for titles grows stronger year by year. So safe or out, is this Shohei politely telling the Angels that he will not be re-signing with them after the season?
I guess it's safe. I'm just going to go on the wording politely. Maybe it's not politely. I don't know Shohei. It seems like this is angry Shohei, for as angry as he could be, Jay. Because if he wants to play for he's got to leave the Angels. I mean, that's just a team, for whatever reason, it hasn't worked. It doesn't work. They've got talent. They ignore pitching. He's been their best pitcher. He's a great hitter. They've got Trout. They've got other pieces. They don't win enough. And this year, it was going better until it didn't, until they turned to the Angels again. So, he's got to leave. Safe.
Yeah, this is safe. And I do believe he was politely doing it by saying, I really want to win titles.
Yeah.
It's like anybody in the Angels organization not taking that as, okay, he's not coming back next year because, we haven't won a title since 2002. When was the last time the Angels won a playoff game?
Oh, that's a good question.
I think also 2002.
They were in it with the Jared Weaver teams. Was that 2009, I want to say?
I think they got swept, though.
Well, they got swept in 14 when Trout was there.
Yeah, Trout's never won a playoff game. Yeah, maybe 09. Wow. So you haven't won a playoff game in 14 seasons. You think this guy's going to resign? Hell no. And the crazy thing is, like, I know the idea of trading Shohei Ohtani at the deadline is probably like, if you're the GM of the Angels, like a wild thought, right?
Yeah.
Like this is the franchise. You have to get something in return for him at this point. Like, you absolutely have to.
Fred Lynn's not walking through that door. Second Fred Lynn reference of the day.
Wow.
Yes. All right. Let's see how many we can get. Also, you were correct. The 2009 ALCS was the last time they won a playoff game.
There you go.
I think it's the ALCS.
Yeah, crazy, right?
Yeah, they
were the other teams trying?
I guess so. They beat the Red Sox in the division series, but they got smoked by that Yankees team that won the World Series.
That's a great point there, Kyle. All right.
Safe or out?
Nobody agreed with you, by the way.
All right, Fred Lynn did.
Oh, that's true. 3 Fred Lynn's.
Yes.
All right, the Home Run Derby. We all seem to enjoy it, especially this cold, cynical heart. So which Home Run Derby performance impressed you the most? Was it Randy Arozarena's Derby most 82 home runs? Was it Julio Rodriguez's 41 in the first round? Or was it Vlad Jr. winning the whole tournament?
Safe.
It's got to be, safe, all of it. The whole thing was great, but if I'm picking one, I'm probably going Julio, and probably got caught up in the fan reaction. He also loved it. Like, I love when they're impressed by themselves, Jay. Like, sometimes we're going, wow, and the guys just walk off like, yeah, no big deal. But it looked like he was impressed. He was enjoying it. They all looked like they were all spent. But Julio's was to me the highlight of the night.
It was to me the highlight, but most impressive. It's hard to say Vlad Jr., winning it's not the most impressive, but Arozarena going 82, that is a event.
It's conditioning.
Exactly. And it's like you need some serious endurance.
He was also the smallest competitor in the competition.
Yeah. Which is crazy because you would think Mookie Betts is, but Arozarena being smaller than Betts, that threw me. To me, it was Arozarena going 82. That just shows that, man, he got some good cardio. He's on the elliptical.
Yes.
Good job, Randy.
Yeah, he's not messing with weights. He's getting cardio to stay. I mean, that's the other thing.
Pete Alonso.
Exactly. You got too big, Pete. You're only a 2-time champion. You can't get to 3. But it was a good field, a good show, a good derby, and we anticipate a good all-star game tonight. We got more on baseball, but when we come back, guys, we got to get back into basketball. The Dame Watch is on, but we might be waiting for a while. Some word from the Blazers front office on what may be going on with Dame and his future in Portland, which may last longer than he wants and maybe even they want. We've got that story and more as we continue here on Sactown Sports.
Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Sinking, that's going to get down for a hit. Around third to score is Tony Kemp. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track, makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
The story of the nurse and the foot pain that nearly brought him down.
I feel like I'm giving people their lives back.
Robert lived to take care of his patients, but he couldn't do it unless he took care of his foot pain.
I have plantar fasciitis. It'll almost put you on your knees. That's how much it hurts.
His own recovery started when he got fitted for arch supports at the Good Feet store.
Now that I'm pain free, I can make these people feel better.
Can't beat that. Stop by or schedule your free fitting at goodfeet.com. The universal truth of women's shoes. The cuter they are, the more they hurt.
You have to put your best foot forward, and if your best foot is an ugly shoe, oh my goodness.
Lisa Ann thought she had to choose between looking good and feeling good until she got fitted for arch supports at the Good Feet store.
Now I can wear the shoes that I've picked out because I like the way they look, not because they were comfortable.
Good Feet relieved her pain and her fashion dilemma. Stop by or schedule your free fitting at goodfeet.com.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
Sacramento, get ready for the launch of Flex Power Tools at Fasteners Tool Outlet. Come on down this Saturday, July 15th for a one-day Flex Tool launch party. Witness live demos, score unbeatable deals on all Flex products, and get a free 3.5 amp hour 24-volt battery with every kit purchase. Grab a rear handle saw kit with a free 10 amp hour battery for just $299. Power up with Flex at Fasteners Tool Outlet. Don't miss it this Saturday, July 15th at 6701 Power Inn Road. For more info, visit fastenersinc.net.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network. Well, playing last year in AAA, Brent Rooker said the last thing on his mind was making an All-Star team. Well, now he is an All-Star, named to the team as the A's representative before the last game of the most recent homestand against the White Sox, and he punctuated that announcement by blasting his 14th home run, a 441-foot shot to straightaway center field. Ken Korak here, introducing you to the Xfinity 10G network. Xfinity is undergoing a multi-year network evolution, giving you a powerful connection today while building toward a faster, more reliable tomorrow. The Xfinity 10G network gives you the fastest internet with even faster speeds rolling out all the time. You also get a consistent and reliable connection when everyone's online, even during peak hours. That's a home run. If you want to learn more, go online at xfinity.com/10G.
Pull it back, Colby.
The only place in the morning to get your sports fix.
Live and local.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
I think the teams that have ended up in the most positive situation post-trade have been the ones that have been really diligent and taking their time and been not been impulsive, or the teams that really kept their urgency under control. So I think that's how my approach has been with this and will be with this, is we're going to be patient. We're going to do what's best for our team. We're going to see, how this lands. And if it takes months, it takes months.
Ooh.
Yikes.
Blazers GM Joe Cronin. I don't think he's wrong, though, Jay. I heard that quote yesterday, and that's probably going to take a lot of people back in Portland, maybe even Dame's camp. And I don't know that there's any gamesmanship to this, but maybe there is. Maybe there's always reasons of what you say publicly. Because, Dame's group has made this very specific that he wants to go to Miami. I think when you limit it to one team, it makes the dealing a little bit more difficult. I think they've taken longer than maybe Miami would have wanted to maybe field some of these guys that are all just signing to Phoenix to play with all that other talent maybe Miami could have received. So I think the more teams you get involved, Portland would get a better deal. But Dame, don't you think this needs to be resolved before this month, topic comes up? They need to get this thing sorted out.
Yeah, I agree. However,
you can't settle.
Yeah, no, I get the player empowerment thing, all of that. It's totally fine. Dame has been there for 12 seasons. Does Dame deserve to have a say in where he goes? Sure. Does Dame... I don't like when player basically says, trade me here or else.
Yeah.
Because as the GM, your job is to get the best deal out there for whoever you're sending out. It doesn't matter if it's a superstar, role player, draft picks, whatever, right? And so far, Portland has basically said, listen, we don't think Miami's offer is very good. What is it, Tyler Hero? Some additional salary.
Yeah, it obviously hasn't moved the needle at all for them.
By the way, if I'm getting draft picks, some of the last draft picks I want are Miami Heat draft picks because they're probably not going to be great.
Yeah.
So how can Miami get this done is basically they're going to need to get one, maybe two teams involved. It doesn't sound like they've been able to do that yet. This is kind of a mess. And I think Joe Cronin is taking the right approach because I know there's a lot of thought out there in the sense as well, if you don't do right by Dame, it's going to make other players not want to sign in Portland because they're not going to trust you X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, let's take a step back and look at this. Jason, who is the greatest free agent trailblazer signing of all time?
I don't have that off the top of my head. Who is? I don't know.
I don't know either.
The point.
I don't think there is one is my point. Yeah. I don't think you can point to who is that really good player?
Was that Pippen?
Pippen was traded there.
Okay.
Pippen was,
it was kind of like a sign and trade because his contract was up with the Bulls.
No, he was the Rockets traded him to Portland.
No, wait, he went Bulls to Rockets. You're right.
Yeah,
that was a trade
because he had the one season in Houston that just went awry, and they traded him to Portland.
Yeah.
Arvydas Sabonis, they drafted him. Is it basically non-prime Kenny Anderson? Maybe.
Right.
Again, they just don't have a history of signing free agents, so you don't have to worry about that. I'm here for what Joe Cronin is doing. We'll make a trade. We will trade you, but this has to be advantageous for us as well.
Yeah, so let's take him for his word. Let's take the months category, and I don't know what that means. I know what it means on a calendar, but let's say we get to the start of the season, Jay. What Portland has done, I think, makes sense. Drafting Scoot, looks like they're developing Simons and Shaden Sharp. And if Dame is still on the team, he's clearly your best player. Averaged 32 points a game last year, something ridiculous.
Yeah.
So he's still an elite player. But their path now needs to be that young core. And I think if you trade Dame, you want more to that young core to really say, here is what we're doing. We're going to be good coming soon. And we're under smaller contracts. We love you, Dame. We love what you did. We're trying to get you to the best spot. And this makes the most sense for all of us. But they just haven't found that sweet spot. But if they get to the months part of this and they start the season with Dame, I don't think he's the type of player that would hold out or be disgruntled, but I just don't want to see it get to that spot to test what has been a really good reputation for Dame Lillard.
Yeah, and I wouldn't exactly hold it against him at this point, but the other side of what you're saying is his agents already put it out there like, hey, man, anybody who trades for this guy, you're getting an unhappy superstar. Now, mind you, that unhappy superstar has 4 years left on his contract. Not like he has a whole lot of say when it comes to that.
Right.
I'm of the opinion, I want to know what your thoughts are on this, that if it does get to the months thing that Joe Cronin is talking about, I don't think Dame suits up.
Really?
I really don't. I think Dame is at the point. I think we would get where, because of where this is going, that they're basically like, hey, man, we get it. We're going to pay you, but you clearly we have no plans for you.
Yeah.
We have this young core we want to develop. Sit at home, chill, work out, do what you need to do, but we don't need you around here right now. Like, would you really want to bring him into camp with the whole months thing after saying that?
Yeah.
Knowing he's not going to be happy. Putting him in front of media?
Yeah. I don't know if this then turns into a game of chicken, because it's kind of like, look, if he doesn't show or doesn't report or doesn't want to suit up, then I feel like the trade value, like then you almost have to take the next deal. You know, it's like one of those things where people say, oh, I'm not going to trade him. I'm not going to trade him. And then, oh, yeah, they trade him because that's just what's best for both. I think the second a player says they want to go, you've got to do everything in your power responsibly. Now, you're just not giving away Dame Lillard, and I don't know if that's what's being offered right now, but if he gets to the point to that, I just think his trade value, he's just crushing his trade value for the organization.
Well, I think he's already crushed it by, like, you know, there's
narrowing
rumors
the
that,
scene.
Yeah, I mean, there's rumors like basically any of the other 28 teams that would want to trade for him, you're getting an unhappy superstar. Like, it's Miami or bust. The minute you do that, you brought that up early, like your trade value's already gone down when you say it's one spot.
Yeah.
And in that one spot also doesn't have a whole lot to give up. It's a little different than like the Lakers Pelicans AD situation where AD was like, yo, I'm going to the Lakers. The Lakers actually had attractive pieces to deal New Orleans. True. Miami doesn't have like super attractive pieces.
Or so not that they want to give up.
Right.
Except Jaime Jaquez, of course.
Well,
yes,
I do think Jaime Jaquez is an attractive piece. Like, that kid can play basketball. But it's not a situation where you're getting a Bam out of Bio back, right? Or a situation like in New Orleans where you got a Brandon Ingram, Alonzo Ball. Again, a guy that was an all-star, a guy that was really good before he hurt his knee, like good NBA players and picks. And potential picks that could turn out to be good picks, which one of them already was.
Yeah, well, and you're hearing reports, Jay, that Miami, like even like Caleb Martin, like they don't even want to give him up. Like, no. I get it. You don't want to give up Bam. You don't want to give up Jimmy. You want the core to be Dame, Bam, and Jimmy in some form. And Tyler Hero seems to be the carrot. That's not enough, obviously, for the Blazers. But, you know, to be that stubborn if you're Miami, and maybe Miami also knows that. Like, look, we know Dame wants to come here. We don't want to give away some of our other pieces that we feel we need, but like Caleb Martin's off the books. Like, that seems crazy.
No, that's ridiculous. And so it really comes down to, is Miami overplaying their hand? Mm-hmm. Is Dame overplaying his hand? Because if I'm Joe Cronin, I have a pretty good indication of the type of person, the type of athlete Dame Lillard is. You said it. Dame doesn't seem like the type that's not going to show up. Like, he doesn't seem like the type that's going to go full James Harden and tank his way out of a situation, right?
Right.
If you're Joe Cronin, you're rolling the dice and basically, and if you're another team, by the way, that has interest in Dame, whoever that may be, I'm of the opinion, if Joe Cronin, again, let's say he deals Dame to Utah, and he's playing with Lauri Markkanen, and he's playing with Walker Kessler, and those guys over there, and he has a legit team around him, another all-star around him, a rising star. Do you think Dame's going to Utah and not playing his best basketball? I just don't believe he's going to do that.
He's not made up that way.
I agree. So that's why I think Joe Cronin's like, cool, I see your bluff.
Mm-hmm.
And I still feel like there's a really good chance that Dame is not, I don't think he's back in Portland. I'm not of the opinion that it's a lock that he's in Miami. Because I think Joe Cronin knows he can deal him to a team that can be competitive, and Dame's going to show up and play basketball there.
Yeah, now you go, does it have to be another team, a second team, a third team involved in this, a fourth team? Who knows in this case, and who just wants to help out Miami and Portland here? A lot of moving parts. I just feel like if you follow the way this has gone, you know, Dame has been so fiercely loyal, and I don't think the Blazers wanted to trade him until Dame said he wanted out. Then Dame comes out, his group publicly, then this whole thing has started. So it feels like they've met. I think there's some respect there, but now I feel like stuff is starting to fracture a little bit, and I hope it doesn't get ugly, and I hope everybody gets what they want, but at this point, it still looks like it's getting uglier before it gets better.
I would just say prep for ugly, my friend.
Yeah, I think you're right. All right, so Dame, the waiting game is on there. As for the Kings, they played last night, kind of. here in Las Vegas. Not their best performance. So look back at what happened with them and the Clippers as Jay and I continue here on Sactown Sports.
The Kings are running it back.
He's got the bucket at the buzzer. Harrison Barnes. Alex Lynn just went above the iron with a two-hand throwdown. And that was as nasty as we've seen him in a Kings uniform.
And welcoming some new faces.
Oh, and here comes Vezenkov. He gets the big finish.
Fisher rejected by Mr. Vezenkov.
Keep it locked on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
School on! Save on!
Back to school is on, and Staples has great prices on everything you need for your best year yet. Save on notebooks. Save on headphones and laptops. Save on pens, markers, and all the essentials. And right now at Staples, save up to 60% on select notebooks, markers, and more. School on, save on at Staples, where school savings are always in session. N729. Prices may vary in-store and online.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street. Right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Are you ready for an incredible pre-owned blowout at Elk Grove Kia? Elk Grove Kia has got you covered with over 300 used cars, SUVs, vans, and trucks available. Every single one of our vehicles has gone through an extensive 150-point inspection, so you can buy with complete confidence. We stand by our cars and offer a bring-it-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, simply return it. Worried about your credit? Don't be. At Elk Grove Kia, we have 100 years of combined experience in helping our customers get the best financing options available. Charge-offs, repossessions, foreclosures, bankruptcies, no problem. Our team specializes in finding solutions for every credit situation. But before you even step foot in our dealership, let us show you what we can do for you. Give us a call or visit our website, and our dedicated team will work with you to find the perfect vehicle and the best financing options. Elk Grove Kia is your destination for incredible pre-owned deals. Visit us today at Elk Grove Kia, or check us out online at elkgrovekia.com.
Turn your highway into a smileway. Elk Grove Kia.
Everyone knows that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Kenny and Jerry here from Bell Brothers. And that's especially true when it comes to your air conditioning system.
A precision tune-up and professional cleaning costs a little bit up front, just $87, but will prevent much bigger, more expensive, and inconvenient problems later.
We actually replace systems all the time from people who don't get annual tune-ups. They either forget or they just don't realize it's important. So instead of their systems lasting 12 or more years like they should, they need to be replaced in just 6 or 7 years.
Don't risk it. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Call Bell Brothers for an $87 air conditioner precision tune-up today and keep your system clean, energy efficient, and in good working shape.
Our number is 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com. That's 916-444-1234 or online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
No surprise guys, Bell Brothers.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better, and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber, down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis, a two-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headline.
Good morning, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. The Sacramento Kings were defeated 80-70 last night versus the Los Angeles Clippers in the Las Vegas Summer League. Top draft pick Colby Jones led the Kings with 19 points and making 8 of 13 shots. The Kings shot a Summer League low 37% from the field as a team. The Kings play their third Las Vegas Summer League game tonight against the Chicago Bulls. The game tips off at 7 o'clock p.m. on ESPN2. In baseball, Vladmir Guerrero Jr. defeated Randy Arozarena in the final to win the 2023 Home Run Derby. Tonight at 5 p.m. is the MLB All-Star Game from Seattle. If you missed any of today's show, head to SactownSports.com and listen to all 4 hours of the show on our podcast and YouTube feeds. Those are your headlines. It's time for hour number 2 of the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then
boom, with Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
Slamming our way into the second hour of the show, Jason Ross, JayMarrZZ. Different states. We're in altered states. I'm confused here in Las Vegas. Jay is steady and sound in Sacramento.
According to who?
I'm not sure. You look good on YouTube.
Thank you. That's just the moisturizer popping through this morning on the HD cameras.
It's a good day. Check out Jay. Check out myself. They got me in a dungeon in here, but hey, look, I'm working. I appreciate the help out here in Las Vegas.
It's a dungeon with a whiteboard, though. You got a whiteboard.
Yeah, let me see what's going on the whiteboard. The Nighthawks pre-kickoff is their first break's 2.5 minutes. Post-game breaks 2 minutes. So we got some halftime breaks. That's the Arena Football League here, the Nighthawks.
Do they play at Allegiant?
I don't think so. I don't know where they play. They probably play in the street. What I did hear
they play in downtown Vegas.
They play at the Sphere.
Oh man,
that would be awesome.
I want to play at the Sphere.
Hey now,
I would get distracted by the lights. Look at the lights. Apparently, you can see the same light show that's outside. You can see inside.
Really?
That's what I heard. I think U2 is the first group that's doing the residency.
Of course they are.
$2.3 billion, I think, to build that thing and the whole setup. But
can't open a Sphere without Bono, right?
Right.
Everyone's saying that.
Everyone's saying
I don't think they still haven't found what they're looking for. But anyway, here you go, Jay. Like the driver, my taxi driver over here said, he was talking about all the different things going on in the city and whatnot. But he said the one thing he just can't get his head wrapped around is they agreed to the Formula One race here. I think he said it's in November, and it's literally on the Strip. So, they're shutting that down for a couple of days for practice runs. They're building stands. I'm like, oh, my gosh.
That traffic is going to be miserable.
Oh, I think visually it'll be great for anybody that watches it on TV to see him driving through. That's great. But the people that are here, that live here, that are, visiting, I think that's going to be brutal.
Worse for the visitors or even the people that live there. 2 weeks of Formula One, which causes brutal traffic, or like having to watch the A's potentially 3 or 4 years from now.
Of course, I brought up the A's. He's like, oh, we don't want him. We don't want him. I heard that owner's terrible. I'm like,
that seems to be the consensus from anyone you hear down there. It's like, I think it was Dave telling us that he was on a Vegas radio program and they brought that up and they're like, yeah, y'all can keep them. We don't want them.
Yeah. The guy said that it was a great line. He's like, look, we got this minor league facility. Like, I think we should put them out there. And if they've earned their way, then maybe they build it up and they win. Then maybe they can stay. And I'm like,
it's like some weird relegation to a new stadium.
Exactly. So Vegas, a special place. It's NBA is here, center stage for a couple of days between the two venues over at UNLV at Thomas and Mack and Cox Pavilion. The Kings were in the big arena yesterday, and it was not like the Victor Wembanyama game, Jay, where it was sold out and overflow. Last game of the day and not the best game of the day. Look, the Kings can have clunkers, and I would say they had one. Just didn't shoot the ball well at all. They lose by 10. I never felt like they were really in the game. The first quarter was okay, but shooting poorly, having Keita leave the game early, and then, just when like Indiana played right before them, let's take them for example. So I'm there watching the tail end of the Pacers game, and Andrew Nebhard's out there. They have Benedict Mathurin playing. Their draft picks, like they have some more of their guys that have been playing legitimate minutes on the big club, and then sprinkled in some young guys. The Kings have a lot of younger guys, and I think it showed. They've played better than they did last night, but last night was a rough outing.
Yeah, I mean, I tune in Summer League basketball, like I would say 95% of people, and I'm just looking for the Kings guys that may be on the roster, that'll be two-way contracts. So really, when I'm watching the Summer League game, I'm watching for Kessler Edwards, I'm watching for Colby Jones, Jalen Slauson, Nemi Keita, Keon Ellis, and Jordan Ford's got my attention. And last night, he had a rough one last night. But yeah, there's a level of expectation for Summer League basketball, right? Like you don't expect it to be great, but when the guys you're looking for, Colby Jones had a fine game last night.
He did.
Keon Ellis was okay. The rest of them though, Jason, that was just, it was a rough watch.
Yeah.
And then when you combine that, which is how terrible the broadcast was.
Yeah, so
I pained my way through that, man.
Let's get to that. We teased it earlier. You watched it. I did not see it. I actually looked over. I go, who's broadcasting the game? And I forget her name, who does the Milwaukee Bucks, does a good job. She was the play-by-play voice. And then I saw, Isaiah Thomas is doing the game. Okay. And then I see Twitter's reaction. So you saw him and them interview Monty McNair. Tell us why it was cringeworthy.
Well, I mean, first and foremost, I don't think Isaiah Thomas is a good broadcaster, whether that's as an analyst, as a studio guy that he does on NBA TV. Well, because Isaiah's not charismatic. Like, is that a fair critique of Isaiah Thomas?
Yeah, and I mean, isn't it kind of the unspoken thing now? Isn't he kind of the pseudo GM of the Suns in a way, or I mean, that's what calling shots there?
I definitely think he has influence over ownership. Like I will say that for sure. So you have that aspect of it, and then combined with like Isaiah does not have the best history when it comes to running basketball franchises,
right?
Both on court and a lot of off court issues. So it's kind of just like I feel like everyone's just kind of like on Isaiah Thomas. So that's already all prevalent, right?
Right.
And then you just factor in, it's like, God, I don't think Isaiah Thomas, and Whitey Gleason said this on Twitter last night, I don't think Isaiah Thomas has watched much Kings basketball in the last 20 plus years. And so Monty McNair is being interviewed by the broadcast team. And it's like, all right, cool. This is going to give us something to pay attention to while this awful product is on the court. And it's like, Isaiah is basically leading the interview. And just like, it's so generic in the sense of, okay, I have a couple notes in front of me about the Kings. I know Mike Brown's their head coach, and I know they made the playoffs last year. And it seemed like that was it. That was all he knew about the Kings. And he is just like taking forever to ask just the most basic questions you could imagine. It's like Monty gives this long thought out answer, and here's like the follow-up. So tell me about your owner.
What?
That's it. That's the question.
And so Monty, how did Monty do?
Monty's like delayed because I think Monty is waiting for more.
Yeah.
And then, Monty is such a pro when it comes to handling questions.
He's like, he's right over there. You want to talk to him?
No, he should have said that.
Yeah.
But he takes the question, and Monty is great at like providing a 2-minute answer, and there's really like there's really nothing to it, but he makes it sound like it's super like articulated and he's giving you something.
Right.
And so poor Monty is just struggling to just like, and then it's like the next question is, so last season you guys made the playoffs.
Thanks, Isaiah.
What are you expecting as growth when it comes to the playoffs next season?
Oh my God.
Like, how do you answer that?
Right.
Like
to go farther?
Exactly, right? Yeah. It's kind of common sense. I don't know, second round. Because I think it was the final part of it was, what do you want to develop in terms of the playoffs next year? Like, that's not even a real question.
Nothing on Fox and Sabonis. Nothing on Keegan.
It's De'Aaron Fox. Again, it's like just the most basic thing. So De'Aaron Fox last year showed some growth in leadership, and he was really good in the fourth quarter. Can you talk about that?
Wow.
It was rough for Isaiah last night.
It was rough for him. I don't know if I say
Put it this way, Isaiah Thomas, his interview was rougher than what you saw on the court.
Oh man, okay, because that was a rough watch. And sometimes, like, people go, "That was a rough game," and you're there, and you go, "No, it wasn't as bad." It was bad. It was bad in person. It didn't have any pop. Didn't have any sizzle. There wasn't a ton of highlights. I didn't even think, honestly, the Clippers were that great. I mean, they won. I mean, good for them. They're competing. They win by 10. They were the better team last night. But I wasn't like, wow, the Kings ran into a buzzsaw. I just thought the Kings shot poorly. Turned the ball. I don't even know what the assist to turnover ratio is. I don't have the stats in front, but I know it was probably 1-to-1. It felt like they had same amount of assists to turnovers. 20-19. Thanks, Kyle. So yeah, it was 20 assists to 19 turnovers. So it was rough. It looked like it played that way. And
at least they had more assists than turnovers.
Yeah, by one. Yes. And I will say this though. I think when this team is trying to identify its identity, and even to this level, and I think Monty's done a good job of that and things he said, like he's credited Summer League championships, winning in the G League, now winning at the Kings level. Like they're really trying to build this culture all the way through. So if some of these guys from the Stockton team, they do play hard. I'll give them that. Like you can feel the intensity of the way they play.
Oh, yeah.
And they're picking up full court. They're mixing up zones. Like they're doing things that they should be doing. They just didn't play very well.
No, and you look at the box score again. Colby Jones, fantastic game, 8 of 13 field, including 3 of 7 from 3. That was the part I was really excited to see about, because I know last year to Xavier, they talked about that was a big thing they needed to see him develop, was his 3-point shot, because you look at his stroke, he has a good stroke. Yeah. But he wasn't exactly a great outside shooter, but that part of his game seems to be coming along. And then the 9 boards, the 2 steals, the 2 blocks. I mean, he stuffed the stat sheet last night, but the rest of the crew, Kessler, 3 of 11, Keon Ellis, 5 of 13, Jordan Ford, 1 of 7. The only other person, like everyone else made a shot last night. Jalen Slauson, 1 of 5. It was bad basketball, man.
Yeah. I don't, did they show Monty much, or you just heard him?
No, they showed him quite a bit. Okay. Yeah.
He's really he's all in on the vest, isn't he?
Dude, big vest guy is Monty McNair. I mean, he gets that from me.
Yeah?
Well, the YouTube chat has always been into my vest wearing during the fall and winter seasons. I have
my vest. I became a vest guy too. I think it's good. It's good for golf. It's good in the winter. But Jay, Monty also had long sleeves underneath. Looked like he even had another shirt. I'm like, Monty, it's 110 today, man.
The only thing I gathered from that is Monty doesn't leave the hotel.
Probably. And that we say that about Vegas. It's 110 or it's 70. Like, it's so extreme air conditioning, or if you go outside for 2 seconds, it's 110.
Monty was dressed for the extreme AC. There was no way Monty McNair was going outside yesterday.
He's all in. It's his uniform. It works for him.
No, I mean, listen, the vest is a good look for him. I'm here for it. I just want to make sure, and it's the new vest with the new script.
Yeah.
I think he's got to just stick to that vest.
Just one vest?
One vest. Okay. He can have multiple of the same vest, for dry cleaning and washing purposes. Yeah. But stick to that one vest. That needs to be his trademark.
Yeah. Look, everybody's got like our own, former afternoon host, Nick. He wore the hat every day. Like that was his uniform. That's fine. Sean Cunningham. He's a hat wearer, right?
I'm just going to say this, Jason. I feel like Nick and Sean's hat wearing might be a little different than why Monty's wearing a vest.
Well, it might be, but it's their uniform, right?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Is this a thing? The real Cheech says bald guy with beard uniform. Is it the vest?
The vest with the bald and the beard.
Because I wear a vest, not a lot. You wear a vest.
Yeah, no, it's a good look. It's part of what we do.
Yeah, I guess I didn't know, but maybe we just inherently get it and we do it.
Yeah, I just think it really.
I didn't go to the meetings.
It shows extra masculinity when you wear a vest with a bald head.
I need it, Jay. I need it.
Nah, you're good. Nobody questions your masculinity, Jason Ross.
I question a lot of things. But we've got 3 questions coming your way next in 3 for Madness, brought to you by our friends at Fire Wings. That is coming your way right after this on Sactown Sports.
It's Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
There's a timeout and Steve Kerr is
that's my favorite gif of all time.
Like a really fake, forced laugh, and Chris Paul laughs back at him, then turns around and gives him the frown.
That is, honestly, I'm not even joking, that's probably my most used gif. Because people always think they're so funny, making little chuckles like, Chris and Co, where's the Co? Yeah, I get it. That's funny. Yeah, I get it because like it's a rotating cast. That's really funny.
It's Whitey and Watkins, debuting Monday, July 10th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Sactown Sports.
Okay, next time you're at the store, I dare you to not think about the unmistakable, fresh, clean scent of Irish Spring. Yeah, you heard me. I want you to resist picturing a shower filled with those sensational Irish Spring suds. And if you succeed, well, you got what my gramps used to call resolutitude. Not a real word, but let's be honest, you're probably going to end up leaving with Irish Spring because of its irresistible scent and because you have zero resolutitude. Pick up Irish Spring at Walmart today.
At Lowe's, we're always bringing pros more ways to save. Right now, get up to 40% off select bathroom faucets and vanities. Plus, buy Southwire Romex Simple 12-gauge indoor wire at our everyday low price of $109. Head to your local Lowe's or visit us at Lowe's.com for more deals you can't beat. Because Lowe's knows savings, Lowe's knows pros. About 7/6 through 7/12 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. U.S. only.
3 questions, 3 answers. It's 3 for Madness on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Here's question 1.
All right, 3 for Madness time. 3 questions, 3 answers. Brought to you by our friends at Fire Wings. 21 delicious flavors of wings. That actually sounds really good right now.
Some 716 Fire Wings. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
It's Vegas, baby.
Right.
That's Sacramento, baby.
Yeah, it works in any region. I would say Fire Wings. Just wing it.
Don't they? Either they're going to or they have opened, I believe, a Fire Wings in Las Vegas.
Is that right? Well, I'm going to have to investigate.
Yeah, you may want to go on the goggle and look.
I will.
It might not be open at 7:16 a.m. though.
I don't think things shut down here.
Nothing shuts down in Vegas.
Yeah, it's always open. The city's open. Someone got the key to the city and they lost it, and it's just open.
I don't know who owns it. Probably the mayor or the mayor's husband, who was the mayor before her. One time, real quick,
yeah,
I had to do an interview with those two.
They're special, huh?
Husband mayor was just sloshed at like noon.
Wow.
And he had cut his head open. He's bleeding the whole time during bro.
Wait, bleeding during your interview?
Yes, sloshed out of his mind.
This was in person? You could see blood?
Yes. His head kept bleeding, and we're like, he's like, oh, it's fine, don't worry. And he just kept like rubbing it. I'm like, this is weird.
What were you interviewing about?
So I was covering the, I believe the American Music Awards, and
Jay was a former music director.
Yeah,
everybody.
If everyone didn't know that, that's a true story. And so they would just bring you random people to interview, and there came the mayor and her husband, and he's just sloshed and bleeding from the top of his head. It's great.
Okay.
That's when I knew.
Fire Wings.
Just wing it.
Nice. All right, Kyle, let's go with, on that note, let's bleed our way to question number 1.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was rude. That was good. Victor Wembanyama, speaking of Vegas, he's done for the remainder of Summer League.
Yeah, I'm not done with him, though. Come on, Victor.
Do you think teams holding high lottery picks out after 1 to 2 Summer League games will be a new norm?
I don't. I think if you're a specialist, Victor Wembanyama, possibly. I know we saw Chet Holmgren get hurt. And I put him in Vegas last year, but we realized it was in the Seattle Pro League that he got hurt. But, Jay, I think it's a little bit weird. Like, for example, I think it makes some sense what the Spurs are doing. They're trying to protect what is this future just dynamic asset that they have. But in the same Summer League, I mentioned earlier, Benedict Mathurin's playing. I know he wasn't picking top 2, but he's picked 5th, I think 6th. You've got Jabari Smith playing for the Rockets. He was the 3rd pick. We thought was going to go number 1. He's playing now after playing a full season as a rookie.
Or is he?
What do you mean?
It was reported last night.
But I mean, he did play the year too.
Yeah, 1 to 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Keegan, who had a great rookie year play. So I think, I don't know. I guess we get some, and it does feel like Summer League is. I told you, like, the Kings contingent that's here is already ready to go home. I feel like it might have peaked at the weekend. Victor's done, and it felt like last night, at least the time I was there, wasn't as much buzz at the arenas. But I don't know. I don't think it's going to be the norm.
I think it is going to be a thing, you know. And then when you factor in, it seems like everybody. Why do you shut a guy down? Injury, right? Saw Scoot Henderson get hurt. Who else did we see get hurt?
Amin Thompson.
Yeah, Amin Thompson hurt. So I feel like teams look at their, these prized prospects that they have on their team, and they're just like, all right, 1 or 2, and then we're good. We don't need to see any more, especially if they look good. Now, you get a guy like Brandon Miller, who's been kind of, you might see him stretch it out a few more games. But yeah, the Rockets are shutting down Jabari Smith, Tari Eason. Keegan Murray didn't even play. He played in the California Classic, but as much as they, have sold that they wanted to see things from him, which I believe is true, by the way.
Yeah.
I think it was also a treat for the Sacramento crowd, and it did, I think, help sell a few tickets.
Yeah,
to the
and what
Cal
we saw
Classic.
was very good.
Yeah, exactly. And I think when you see a team or a guy like Victor, and it's like, okay, after 1 or 2 games, it's like, oh, wow, this guy's going to be special. I'm shutting him down. And so I feel like it sucks because Summer League, you want to see these guys play through the whole thing because I want to go and watch TV tonight and tune in and see Victor Wembanyama play, or a Scoot Henderson, or even a Jabari Smith Jr. And that's not going to be a thing. I feel like after the Summer League weekend is up by Monday or Tuesday, where we're at right now, you're just kind of going to get the scraps.
Okay. We'll see. All right, question number 2.
Question 2.
Chris Paul. He said during his introductory press conference yesterday that he's not as worried about his role on the Golden State Warriors as everyone else is. Do you take this as CP3 might be willing to accept a role on the Warriors bench this year?
I'm not believing that. And here's why. So I'm looking this up, Jay, as we speak. 18 seasons in the NBA. Chris Paul has played 1,214 games. Chris Paul has started 1,214 games. Every game of his career, any game he's ever played, yes, I know he's not 20 anymore and a high lottery pick, or he's not the all-star, but he is a 12-time all-star. He's a NBA All-75th team. He's an 11-time All-NBA. He's one of the greatest point guards we've ever seen. And he's also joining a team that's not afraid to play small. And I think in winning time, their lineup in games is going to be, if things are going right, it's going to be Draymond, Wiggins, Clay, Steph, and Chris Paul. So if that's your closing lineup based on his history, his longevity, his resume, I think they start him. Now, if they work out something else, I'd be surprised, but that's also a team that's shown they're not afraid to change their starting lineup. But to me, I think Chris Paul's a starter. I think they figure it out. I think that's their best 5. And they'll play small, and they'll figure it out.
I think we'll see Chris Paul start games this year, but the way I took that when, you're being asked about your role, and you're like, yeah, I'm not overly concerned about it. Everyone else seems to be concerned about it, and I'm here to fit in and win basketball games. I took that as like, he might actually be accepting of that role. And I do believe on this Warriors team, as currently constructed, that is the best role for him. Like, this is a team that had a lot of turnover issues last year. And when it really came down to that second unit, they struggled to have somebody to actually run it. And if you want someone to come in, clean up turnover issues, and run the second unit, I do believe Chris Paul is that guy. I don't like the idea of him and Draymond together in the starting lineup just because they kind of both do the same thing. And I like the idea of having Draymond basically be your offensive initiator, along with Steph Curry to a degree in the starting rotation. I like the idea of Chris Paul coming in and initiating your offense and being able to get his own shot when he wants to get it as well, and really clean up the turnovers on the Warriors team. So I think he's willing to possibly accept that role. And if he does, I do believe that is the best fit for him on this Warriors team as the roster is currently constructed.
Yeah, I think I don't have the stat. I can't remember it exactly, but one of the metrics that came out once they made the trade, Jay, was that the Warriors traditionally have been, since under Kerr, like they share the ball more than anybody, more passes per possession than just about any team in the league. And I think Chris Paul in the half court dribbled the ball more. He was like the top 3 in the amount of time he had the ball. So like that's his adjustment, but it's a team that shares the ball, and seemingly everybody that joins there kind of figures it out. Chris Paul's a smart guy. I think he'll figure it out, but that'll be an adjustment for him.
Yeah, I think the how that works and how they factor him into the rotation and the different looks they're going to give him in the different lineups is something, especially early in the season, that's going to be a fun little watch with the Warriors.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's go to question number 3.
Question 3.
Mentioned this a little bit earlier. The MLB All-Star Game is tonight.
Number 93, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah.
That's what it says on the sheet. If you had to pick just one, what is your favorite All-Star Game memory?
Glad you asked, Kyle. Jay, you ready for this?
Yep.
I'll take you back 1983. Comiskey Park, third inning. Bases are loaded for Fred Lynn. With Atlee Hammaker on the mound, Fred Lynn parks one, scoring. Dave Winfield, Manny Trio, and Rod Carew for the first ever All-Star Game Grand Slam. Atlee Hammaker also gave up a home run in that inning to Jim Rice. You might want to pull him.
Yeah. Should Atlee Hammaker been a All-Star?
He shouldn't have been. He was a Giant at the time. Fred Lynn.
Oh, well, that makes all the sense in the world then.
The great Fred Lynn is getting his third reference of the show. And if you missed any part of the show and you're a big Fred Lynn fan, or if you're Fred Lynn himself, you should go back to Sactown Sports and listen to the podcast. I actually have lots of memories, but I just wanted to get a Fred Lynn Grand Slam reference in again and let you know that Dave Winfield, Manny Trio, and Rod Carew all scored on that Grand Slam.
I mean, listen, that is some water cooler talk today if you were listening to this show.
You're welcome, everybody.
Let them know about the Fred Lynn Grand Slam on the 93rd
Also, Atlee Hammaker only made one All-Star game in his career, and it was that 1883 game.
It's epic. Like, he didn't go in there and, like, scatter 4 hits. Like, he was awful.
Yeah, I mean, right? If you're going to suck, like, go all the way.
Yeah.
Like, don't
Memorable.
half suck. Don't 3/4 suck. Like, be memorably bad. We talked about this.
Yeah, as much as I'm giving this, like, this has turned into a Fred Lynn homage to Fred Lynn. This is really an homage to Atlee Hammaker and his big day.
Yes.
And he did deserve to make the All-Star team that year because he had a 2.25 ERA. It's just the rest of his career that's not as good.
What's his All-Star game ERA? Does it show that?
99.
Well, if he only got one out, then it would be 135.
That's not good.
Did he only get one out? I think he went the inning.
No, I have no idea. I'm just guessing.
Okay.
Either way, I bet it's higher than that ERA for the season.
If he got through the inning and gave up 5 runs, it would be 45.
My favorite All-Star game memory took place off the field in an interview with Derek Jeter with Jim Gray. And Jim Gray asking Derek Jeter a question. And him just looking at Jim Gray like, yeah, Jim, we all decided we're not going to talk to you because what you said about Pete Rose.
Oh, man, I vaguely remember that. That's right.
It's epic. Go YouTube it at some point today. It's fantastic.
Jeter got him, the captain?
Jeter said, hell no. None of us are talking to you.
Did he at least give him a parting gift basket like Jeter's known for?
No gift basket at all. No lotions or fruits for Jim.
You should also Google that if you don't know what that is.
Oh, I know what that is.
No, I mean the people listening, not you. I know you know what that is.
He's a very kind and generous captain.
Very kind and generous.
Yeah.
I was indoctrinated in the San Diego fandom as a young child, so I have to go with the Ted Williams, Tony Gwynn pregame ceremony. That is that's a really cool moment.
Awesome.
Wait, is that the same one that Rose was at and Jim Gray interviewed him?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that was 2002. It was either 1 or 2. It was the one at Fenway Park was when they did the whole Ted Williams comes out on the cart.
I'll look up the year for Jeter, but yeah, I don't think it was the same All-Star
game. I think that was also the one All-Star game I went to. I think it was 2010 in Anaheim. I think like Brian McCann hit a game-winning single or double or something in that, but it wasn't a very memorable All-Star game.
Just to complete the Atlee Hammaker line score, guys. 2/3 of an inning, 6 hits, 7 earned runs, a walk, gave up the 2 homers, ERA, All-Star game ERA of 94.50.
Wow. That is not good.
No. Some would call it bad.
I'm going to look it up here. Here's what he did. He led off the inning, gave up a home run to Jim Rice. George Brett tripled. He got Ted Simmons out on a pop fly to second. Winfield singled. Trio singled. Doug DeCense flew out to center. Rod Carew got on with a single. An intentional walk to Robin Yount. They loaded the bases, Jay, to get to Fred Lynn, and he hit the home run.
Goodbye.
And then
nobody loads the bases for Fred Lynn.
And then Bill Dawley came in to replace him. They batted around, and he got out Jim Rice. There you go.
Jim Rice, great.
Yeah, there's your Atlee Hammaker, Fred Lynn All-Star Game memories. All right, we will take the break here. That was 3 for Madness. When we come back, much more to get to. More on the NBA, more Sacramento Kings news as well. Dating back to the draft, how it could have been different for the Sacramento Kings. They had a plan that may have changed things, and it involves that Murray family. They're always up to something. We'll explain next.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
Sacramento, get ready for the launch of Flex Power Tools at Fasteners Tool Outlet. Come on down this Saturday, July 15th for a one-day Flex Tool launch party. Witness live demos, score unbeatable deals on all Flex products, and get a free 3.5 amp hour 24-volt battery with every kit purchase. Grab a rear handle saw kit with a free 10 amp hour battery for just $299. Power up with Flex at Fasteners Tool Outlet. Don't miss it this Saturday, July 15th at 6701 Power Inn Road. For more info, visit fastenersinc.net.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopier.com.
Did you know about 1/3 of our lives is spent sleeping? Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. If we're going to spend that much time in our bedrooms, then our bedrooms ought to reflect our personalities. I remember many weekend mornings when our kids would jump into our beds trying to coax us to start our days more on their schedules than ours. Naturewood Home Furnishings' huge bedroom sale is here, and there's no better time to find the perfect accent piece for your bedroom. Or even better, to start fresh by designing your bedroom to fit your lifestyle. From a new mattress and foundation to dressers to nightstands to lamps and more. Naturewood Home Furnishings will help you create a space from simple to luxurious and anything in between. Just drop by and let Naturewood's team help you envision a bedroom fit for 1/3 of your life. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable bedroom sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water reel.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Good morning, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. The Sacramento Kings were defeated 80-70 last night versus the Los Angeles Clippers in the Las Vegas Summer League. Top draft pick Colby Jones led the Kings with 19 points, making 8 of 13 shots. The Kings play their third Las Vegas Summer League game tonight against the Chicago Bulls. The game tips off at 7 o'clock p.m. on ESPN2. If you missed any of today's show, head to SactownSports.com and listen to all 4 hours on our podcast and YouTube feeds. Those are your headlines. It's time to roll along with the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Carmichael Dave.
He has very good sources, and he just kind of tells it as it is and gets to the point.
Jason Ross.
He has a lot of pretty smart things to say.
He's good at what he does.
On Sactown Sports.
Carmichael Dave off this week, back with us next week. He's on vacation. Rumor has it up in Seattle. Didn't make it to the Derby. How would Dave have done in that Derby? You've actually hit in that ballpark, Jay.
I have hit in that ballpark. I let it rip there.
Any home runs? A lot of people are saying you're much like, did you do better than your guy Mookie?
No. Mookie beat me.
Okay. Did you not have your lucky boots?
No, it wasn't necessarily that I didn't have my lucky boots. I just didn't like the bat selection there.
That's fair.
Yeah, they weren't corked, so.
They gave you the broken ones?
Yeah, they gave me the broken bats. You know, I didn't get Ellie De La Cruz's bat.
You didn't get the Sammy Sosa special?
No, if I would have had a Sosa special, I'm talking a couple
upper tanks.
Easy, a couple infield home runs. Hey, real quick, Jason, I got to correct myself. The Jeter comment wasn't during the All-Star game. It was during the World Series.
Still, it was anything against Jim Gray. We support.
Yeah. So I guess my favorite All-Star game memory then was like when Barry Bonds, who robbed him of the home run and he lifted.
Wait a minute. Torrey Hunter?
Yes, Torrey Hunter. And it was like, oh my God, Barry Bonds is human and has fun. Who knew?
Yeah, that was fun.
If you're looking for an All-Star game one, you could go with the time Derek Jeter threw Joe Buck out of the clubhouse.
Wait, what?
Really?
Wait, you haven't seen? It was kind of a bit for TV, but Derek Jeter tells Joe Buck you have to leave when he tries to walk in and interview people. I'll send it to you.
Okay, if it's a bit, then it's not as good. If it was like for real, like, hey, Joe, get the hell out of here. Derek Jeter is probably half of America's hero.
They made him actually leave, but I never knew if it was real or not.
That's because Buck hates every team, right?
Yes, Buck hates every team except the Cardinals, is the way I've always been told.
No, Joe Buck hates your team.
Yes. And
whatever your team is, he
no,
hates your team.
No, but he's like, because you remember, his dad, obviously, longtime Cardinals broadcaster, and there's always the theory that don't put Joe Buck on any Cardinals broadcast. It's homerism. You're a big Joe Buck guy.
I do like Joe Buck. I think he's very good, and I think he has unnecessary hate towards him.
I would say it's unnecessary. I wouldn't call myself a big Joe Buck guy. He's fine.
You're a little Buck.
Yeah, little Buck, mini Buck.
The Kings.
Side of Buck.
That's right. The Kings had their draft last month. We were all kind of waiting. What are they going to do at 24? Could Chris Murray last to 24? And if he was there, are the Kings going to take him? Could there be a scenario where if he was there, they wouldn't take him? Well, he was picked the pick before. The Kings now went on, of course, and traded Rashawn Holmes and got draft or cap space for it. But there is maybe more to this story, at least maybe what was planned. Let's hear from NBA media guy Brian Windhorst here, who has covered the league a long time, talks a little bit about what he thought the Kings were up to.
Yeah, I think their explanation was they really wanted Chris Murray from Iowa to pair with his brother Keegan. They had the 24th or 25th pick, I think, something like that. And when Chris Murray went right in front of him, and so it was like, well, we couldn't have the guy we wanted, so they traded the pick to Dallas and for Omax Prosper, and they picked up, they offloaded Rashawn Holmes in the deal, and that wasn't something that they went into the draft like, oh, we're going to make a move and get cap space. That it was a draft night maneuver, and they were like, we see an opportunity to give us some flexibility, and they did it.
Which to me, that's where I would love to talk to Monty, and I don't know how much he would share, Jay, but when you talk about a plan B, I mean, that pick is taken minutes before your pick. And so you don't have a lot of time to construct that deal. That's where I almost wonder, okay, have they already worked out a framework of something with Dallas? Like, hey, if thing X happens, would you be interested in Rashawn Holmes and this and the 24th for cap space, basically? Because to do that, you have to move on that pretty quickly.
Right. And so I think the scenario that you set up is exactly what it was. Like, there's clearly talks, because I'm sure the Kings are
not doing that in 5 minutes.
Right. No, you're not doing that. There's no way you're doing that in 5 minutes. So clearly they had, and every team has, like, a big board, right?
Mm-hmm.
What it said to me was, it was kind of like, at this point at 24, was Chris Murray like the last guy on their big board? And they're like, all right, because right now it seems like it's like, oh, they really just wanted Chris Murray. Mm-hmm. I feel like Monty in the front office is smarter than that, where it's like, it's not just Chris Murray. They had guys above him that, hey, this guy falls us to 24. We're going to keep the pick. So I just wondered, and I guess, and I'm saying I wonder, like, I'm throwing this out there, was like Chris Murray, like, how many guys did they have on that big board that they're like, okay, if this guy falls to us, we're keeping this pick. If not, Dallas is ready to move, and we know who they want to take with it.
That's my best guess is how it happened. And I think, again, I try to put these into examples. If a lot of you out there listening play fantasy football, you may do it in your own way. But Jay, one of the things I do, let's say we're in a draft and I'm picking 8th in my draft of 10 or 12 people. I kind of put out my list. I literally put out 8, but I go, oh man, this kind of tears out about 6. And if I got to get one of these top 6. And literally, if one of the top 6 is there and I'm picking at 8, that's the pick. There's no doubt about it. Now, if it gets past 6, like, all right, now I'm I don't want to say scrambling, but that's not what I preferred. It's like, all right, I want one of these 6. I'm picking 8th, and I hope one of the 6 falls. I don't really care which order. I probably have a little preference. And I think that's what happened here. I think they were looking at other names. Obviously, they had higher than Chris Murray, but Chris Murray was probably their cutoff on the plan. And if he was there at 24, easy, let's do it. If he's not, let's go to plan B.
Yeah, and I wonder, too, how much of it was we want to select Chris Murray here because of basketball reasons versus we want to select Chris Murray here because Keegan's on the team. We know it'll keep Keegan happy. We know Chris is a good player and we can use him. How much do you think of it was more basketball versus Keegan's brother? Because I think there's both elements in play there.
I think it's basketball, but I think it's what I said pre-draft too, Jay, was that, like, you're not going to have any more intel possible on a player than they would on Chris Murray. Right. One, Keegan, you like Keegan. He's become a fixture of what the team, and they think highly of him. They know the family. There's not a lot of that digging into the intel. I'm sure they talked to Keegan as well. Like, hey, look, if this is a possibility, your thoughts. But personally, I'm now starting to think, and I was thinking it a little bit then, as much as I would have loved it, I just love the novelty of it. I think it would have been really cool. I think for both of them, it's probably better.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't really like the idea just because of the media, what you're going to be doing with that. Now, granted, you would have got a lot of really cool in-arena promos with Keegan and Chris.
Yeah.
But there's also going to be the narrative of nepotism. And, oh, gosh, there's the Kings doing old Kings things, taking the brother of a player just because he's the brother of a player. And, yeah, I think it's good for both of their development to not be near each other. And, honestly, it's cool because their dad gets to go to now Portland and Kings games.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, it's not fair, but it's what happens when you're siblings. Like, you get compared. Seth Curry is not Steph. Seth is a good player. He's not Steph. No. And so Keegan's drafted higher. Keegan had an incredible rookie year. And personally, Jay, I think Keegan would have blocked Chris Murray's minutes quite a bit.
Yeah, he really would have. And that was kind of the other issue with that draft pick. I'm like, all right, you're taking Chris Murray. And Chris Murray, I think, is a guy that can come in and get minutes early. I think he's going to actually get, quite a bit of minutes in Portland this year.
It's a better spot for him, probably.
Yeah, so you're blocking his development, and then you have all of that there. That's why I was kind of happy they actually dealt the 24 pick. Because I'm like, whoever you're dealing at 24 is likely not a rotation piece this year. And had it been Chris Murray and we're not seeing him in the rotation, it just sets up a whole lot of conversations that are kind of stupid and not meant to be had.
Yeah.
And if it's any other player, you're probably not having those conversations, right?
Yeah. And I think they liked Colby Jones and maybe thought, hey, we can get him a little later. They had, had that 2 second-round picks, and they moved up in the second round to make sure they got Colby Jones. So I think the Kings are happy with what they've done. I think for the Murray family, it'll work out. And then, it might be better if they actually played together, I don't know, 5 years from now, 7 years from now, a little later down the line for both of them. Yeah, for sure. All right, last night, there was Summer League action, but baseball got it right. That home run derby was classic from Seattle. We'll recap the home runs after home runs after home runs. It was an amazing show put on in Seattle. We've got that next.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa, Thursdays at 6 p.m. on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa, Thursdays at 6 p.m. on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Nature Wood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Hey there, Jason Ross here to tell you about my friends at ACR Solar and Home Services. Go to acrsolar.com right now. Just go to the website, check it out, see the different things that Home Services. They basically want you to be a one-stop shop for anything you might need for your home, whether that's solar. It's in their name. It's what they've done for a long, long time, whether it's home solar, pool solar, also roofing. That's right, roofing. That's part of the home services when you hear ACR Solar. And had someone ask me about that the other day and said, you keep talking about the solar, but I thought you got a new roof. Yes, I did, through ACR Solar. And I didn't know about it as well at the beginning. Someone told me about ACR Solar, and I thought the same thing. But we needed to meet with multiple companies when you're trying to get something, a big project like that. You should get at least 3 estimates, right? That's the best thing. You compare and contrast. Certainly you're looking at the price, but then it's the feel, it's the vibe. It's how do you interact, the relationships you're going to be working with these people for a time at something that's very important, your home. And so when we went through the task and met through the different companies, and there's a lot of good people that do roofing out there, certainly, but ACR Solar just fit right for us, for our personality. The price point matched their work, and then they really delivered. And that was important to my wife and I, as when hey, sometimes companies will tell you, oh, we'll be there sometime between 7 and 11. Well, it's better when you know the close to the exact time, what they're going to do each day, and they did deliver. The communication was constant, and the end result is we've got a brand new roof. It looks great. We've got peace of mind, curb appeal, home value is increased, but the most important part is back to that peace of mind. We feel safe, we feel secure in all the elements that we go through in Sacramento. So check it out. Go to acrsolar.com.
Okay, next time you're at the store, I dare you to not think about the unmistakable fresh, clean scent of Irish Spring. Yeah, you heard me. I want you to resist picturing a shower filled with those sensational Irish Spring suds. And if you succeed, well, you got what my gramps used to call resolutitude. Not a real word, but let's be honest, you're probably going to end up leaving with Irish Spring because of its irresistible scent and because you have zero resolutitude. Pick up Irish Spring at Walmart today.
At Lowe's, we're always bringing pros more ways to save. Right now, get up to 40% off select bathroom faucets and vanities. Plus, buy Southwire Romex Simple 12-gauge indoor wire at our everyday low price of $109. Head to your local Lowe's or visit us at Lowe's.com for more deals you can't beat. Because Lowe's knows savings, Lowe's knows pros. About 7/6 through 7/12 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. U.S. only.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
PGA.com reported that no matter how long you've played golf, you've found things that annoy you on the course. Here's their top 9 pet peeves. Number 9, do you think I can hit yet guy? He hit his tee shot 200, but he's waiting for the green to clear from 250. 8 is where's the beverage card guy who always need more aiming fuel? 7 is the since I'm not playing well, I'm going to complain about everything. 6, leave the green messy guy who refuses to fix a ball mark, spit sunflower seeds, and tap cigar ashes on the green. 5 is the member who acts like he owns the course guy. He's no favorite of the superintendents. Then there's the 1 second, let me count my strokes guy. If you've hit that many shots, just pick it up. 3 is the oblivious to open holes in front and people on our tail guy. 2 is the cell phone talker guy. Hey, we're playing golf here. And number 1 is the good Lord, they're pairing a woman with us guy. While these guys are looking in the woods for a ball, the lady is kindly waiting in the middle of the fairway. What are your pet peeves? That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Waking you up with the best in local sports.
They just make it interesting, you know?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sactown Sports.
Jason Ross, JayMarrZZ rolling along here. Sactown Sports, go to our YouTube page. Hit that thumbs up button while you're there. We thank you for watching us, listening to us. Maybe it's a smart speaker, the app. Over the radio, they still have those, Jay. Those radios are still out. They still exist.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, I know. I have to show proof.
I was listening to us the other day on the radio.
You have one of those?
In my car, yeah.
I didn't know your generation did the whole radio thing.
Yeah.
I just wanted to tune in and see how it sounded.
How the
I picture you would. Yeah, I picture Kyle would do it on the phone through an app through the car.
No, he's definitely a smartphone guy.
Yeah, normally I do Bluetooth music through my phone, but I
No, you Bluetooth the station through your phone.
No, I didn't do that. I just put on the old AM dial.
No, but usually you do it through the phone.
Oh, yeah.
On the Sactown Sports app all the time, don't you?
Oh, well, I love watching us on YouTube. That's the way I normally consume the shows, is I do YouTube.
You're supposed to shill, buddy. We got to work on your shilling.
Where's Kyle Cam?
I wish we had Kyle Cam today because I have a special outfit on today.
Okay, without describing, because I've seen several of the outfits. What the pants have got flare today, right? I'm sure they do.
They never don't.
I know. So is this what color?
Just come in real quick, Kyle.
All right.
Neon,
I'll just stand in
neon-ish?
front of the camera real quick. Hold on.
All right.
Come on in.
This is for YouTubers. Jay and I will. Well, Jay's seen them. I'm going to see if I can describe.
Yeah, I've seen him.
What we're going to see here in a few moments.
Now come over more by me so they can see the whole.
Oh, he's got the A's cell shirt on
with the matching tie-dye green jeans.
Okay.
There you go.
I see the cell shirt.
The fashion plate of
there's
Sactown Sports.
Yes.
Kyle Ledbetter.
Yes. I have that same outfit. It's just in the wash.
Yeah, I know. You're going to wear it in Vegas tomorrow, correct?
For sure. Walking down the strip. I'll feel right. Feel right at home. There you go.
There were
Kyle
no
looking
Oakland
good.
A's in the home run derby last night.
There were no Oakland A's, and there shouldn't have been, but the home run derby was awesome. The one thing baseball, look, baseball has lost its popularity in a lot of people, but they put on a show. It was a good day for baseball. And what's kind of cool with Vladmir Guerrero Jr. winning it, Jay, is now we got a father and son duo that has won it. And I think baseball has got a lot of father-son stories over the years, but that's pretty cool that Vlad Jr. has now won along with his dad.
Yeah, Vladdy Sr. tweeted out that he was proud of him last night. And I think of those great father-son duos, and obviously baseball has the best ones. I don't even think that's particularly close. Where do you rank the Guerreros? Father-son duo.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I hadn't really thought of them up high, but I should. Right, Vlad Sr.'s in the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Guerrero Jr. is still a young stud doing some great things. Yeah, they probably should be ranked pretty high.
Would you rate them higher than the fielders?
Yeah. I mean, you got one Hall of Famer. Neither fielder is in there, right?
No, I don't believe so.
And I think their stat that's great is they ended with the same amount of home runs.
Yeah, that's just more weird than anything else, right?
That is. But what a show. I mean, Vlad Guerrero, I don't even know, like, this might be one of those things. I remember moments, we talked about it leading into the home run derby yesterday, Jay, like, home run derby memories. I don't always remember the winner. I think when we look back on this one in a few years, I don't know that we'll always know that Vlad Jr. won it. I think we'll remember Julio's first round.
I think we'll disagree. I think we'll know Vlad Jr. won it. And the big reason we're going to remember Vlad Jr. won it's like, oh, yeah, because Vlad Sr. and Vlad Jr. are the only father-son duo with home run derby titles.
Maybe. It was just a great night, though, for base. They really did. Seattle showed up. I just thought the energy, the field was good. Look, Mookie didn't have the best day, but who cares? It felt like the field was right. The Stars played. Mookie wanted to try it. Pete Alonso's a two-time champ that was good, and there was a number that Julio put up there that Pete just couldn't compete with. I just thought it was awesome.
Yeah, how do you, first of all, it was 41 was the number.
Yeah.
Record, round one record. You're Pete Alonso, right? And you're really good at this. You've won it twice. Are you intimidated by that number? Like, even though, like I said, I'm not saying Pete Alonso's going up there like scared.
Yeah.
But it's like, dude, 41, really?
Well, and I mean, I think the criticisms I would have of this, which, okay, now I feel like I'm nitpicking because they've kind of crafted this into a pretty fun event. The two things I would say is I do like the head-to-head. So while I'm saying I like the head-to-head, what if Pete hit 40? He's out.
True.
And where you go, okay, because Julio hit 40, like Julio set a record. He could have technically had what would have been a record, but lost by one in round one, and he's done. Like, I don't know if that's the right thing, but I also like it in the same sense. So that's nitpicking. And then the other one is the speed of it is good. It feels right as a consumer of watching it on TV, Jay, but sometimes it's so fast that, like, wait, where'd that home run go? Like, you just see the notch. Okay, it's 23rd home run.
Julio
24th.
was that guy last night, right?
Right.
Because,
it's like some of them were bombs, and I'm like, I want to see where it lands as opposed to see that. I mean, I don't know how you show that television-wise.
No, it's really difficult to show that television-wise, and I was kind of in the same boat. It's like, man, he's just trying to get as many swings in as possible, and it's just like, some of them are gone, but others are like, oh, is that a pop fly? Is that a home run? I don't know, because we're already 3 pitches in to win before the ball lands.
Which is probably why he ran out of gas in the second round, because a lot of those were hitting warning track and short once he got there.
And so kind of, Jason, I was wondering, I was going to exactly go there. Thank you, Kyle. Like, that might be a criticism too, is like, dude, by the time he gets to the second round, I mean, the guy just put on the biggest show, but he's gassed.
He is. And I think the way you said it earlier is perfect about, like, the saying, oh, that ball hasn't landed yet. Well, it's true. Like, there was one or two that were absolute bombs, and there literally were 2 pitches, like, in between. Like, wait, is this the one he just hit? Is that I wanted to see where that one went. Now I've already forgot which one it is. Like, it's so fast, but it was really entertaining.
I don't know why, but that last bit, you said it like a really upset child.
It did.
I want to see where it went.
Where did it go? Show me. Yeah. It was.
Show me or
great.
Shohei?
Yeah, him too. And had he been, well, I mean, he's healthy. He's playing tonight, but not 100% healthy. But I don't think the Stars duck it. It was weird that Soto was there and he was really supporting Vlad. It was like, why don't you defend your title?
I think Juan Soto might be like, I've already done this.
Okay.
I think,
but I don't think it's a tired thing. Like,
no.
I think Pete Alonso wants to do this for the rest of his career.
No, Pete Alonso, I think, loves the Derby.
Yeah.
And I think, too, that might be something as we saw it last year with Albert. I hope we get as some of these guys, and that's the thing about the Derby, what was super cool is you got a lot of young guys in there. Like, I don't even know. Julio Rodriguez is, 22?
That's ridiculous.
Vladdy Jr. is 24. Like, there are so many.
That's it?
Yeah. Crazy, right? He's 24 years old. There's so many young stars that they're showcasing and highlighting, but I hope as some of these stars get a little older, they kind of get the Albert Pujols treatment where it's like, all right, you're going to get the honorary induction in this year.
Yeah.
Because there was something really special about Albert being in it last year and actually performing in it.
Yeah.
So I think that's cool, but I really am here for it, showcasing the young stars.
Yeah, and we highlighted the father-son about Vladdy Jr. and Vladdy Sr. winning, but the Rutschman father-son pitching, like, that
so
got
cool,
me.
Dude.
That was
so
cool. And then in the bonus time when he flipped to the right side and hit home, like, he was hitting bombs as a righty after parking all those lefty. That was cool. And that's the other part. Like, pitching, That's the deal. That's like how this is. That's a really important piece to this.
Do you think, I don't know who is pitching to Adolis Garcia?
It wasn't Atlee Hammaker.
No. Do you think he knows that he's not like supposed to try to get him out? Like whoever was pitching to Garcia last night thought he was in contention for a Cy Young.
Yeah, throwing outside, jamming him. Like, what are we doing here?
Garcia had no chance.
Picked a bad batting practice pitcher.
Really bad.
That's the like. You know what? Just give him a tee. Let him hit off a tee. Let's make it easier.
At that point, I feel like Garcia probably wanted a tee.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, pitching is important, and if you can get the person that just steadily, puts it in where your eye sees that sweet spot. That's because these guys I felt like there were more swings per round than I can remember. Like usually it's like swing, 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 timeout, swing, swing, swing. Like they were just going.
No, it was an endurance test last night.
Yeah.
Shout out to Randy Arozarena. I said it earlier. I thought the most impressive thing was, he almost won the entire thing. He had 82 total home runs, dude.
That's
that
ridiculous.
takes that's a lot of work on the elliptical. It's a lot of push-ups.
Second most all-time in a derby.
That's insane. And Kyle, I didn't even realize this till last night. You brought it up. The smallest guy in the field last night was Randy Arozarena.
He's smaller than Mookie?
Yeah, he's small. I thought Mookie by far was the smallest guy. Arozarena is smaller than Betts.
And I don't know this, Kyle. You've been to a couple of home run derbies, and Dave was looking at tickets saying it was too expensive. Is this a case, guys, where the outfield seats are more expensive?
I think so.
Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
The one time?
Everyone wants to be in the outfield, especially in left field, because there's usually more righties in the tournament than lefties.
You either got to be right behind the plate to see all the action and see the guys up close, or in left field.
Yeah, I agree.
And you could be in the third deck.
By the way, I'm not turning down a ticket no matter where it's at, though.
Sure. Like if you're in the first baseline, you're like, yeah, I'm still there. I'm watching these bombs just leave the yard. And the kids get hit every once in a while on the field.
That's the best part.
The best part.
There was a kid that took one last night.
I saw that.
There was one where Luis Robert went like opposite way, so everyone was in left field, and the kid like ran all the way over, and then it like hit him in the head.
Boom! Little baby Canseco out there.
Why am I laughing?
Because it's kind of funny. Okay.
Use the glove.
Exactly,
glove, right?
dude. If you would have had your glove up, if you would have taken a better route on the ball, that wouldn't have happened.
Look alive. Be ready.
We're just getting good coaching here. That's all we're doing.
We are.
This has been my favorite part of the Derby for literally 16 years.
That's just because you're a bad person. That's different.
Why do they keep putting the kids out there? Why do they keep doing that?
Because every kid in the world wants to be in the Derby. Like, Jason, could you imagine being 9 and your dad's like, hey, son, you're going to be in the home run derby in the outfield. Like, you're not turning that down.
I want to be there now.
Really?
I want to be out there in the outfield catching these. Or I told you my goal is always I wanted to rob somebody. But then if you robbed someone, there's got to be rules on that.
We got to go to break. But I just have this visual now in my head of you just like steamrolling over some 7
Get out of the way
to catch that Aaron Judge pop fly.
Everything is like, I called it. Ball, 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 ball.
Right? And then you're yelling at them for being in the way. I'm in center field. I'm the captain.
I'm the captain now. That's right. That's how I play it. Got to catch them.
I'm here for it.
And I'm keeping them all, not throwing into the stands or giving them to the kids.
No. Sell them on eBay. $5 a pop.
At least. All right. When we come back, it's the All-Star game tonight, the actual Midsummer Classic. We'll go over some of our other memories and the rosters and so on and so forth as baseball. This is the best of All-Star games, the baseball All-Star game. We've got that coming your way next here on Sactown Sports.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Come experience the AHRMA Classic Moto Fest of Monterey, where vintage and modern road racing, trials competitions, flat track, and motocross racing will take place all in one weekend at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca, July 14th through 16th. This event will include a swap meet, bike show, cycle corral, and other family-friendly activities. Tickets are available by calling 831-242-8200. That's 831-242-8200. Or visit WeatherTechRaceway.com.
Sammy Hagar in the circle. Friday, July 14th, the Lake Tahoe Outdoor Arena at Harvey's. The party you don't want to miss. Sammy Hagar. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com and 8concerts.com. Don't miss Sammy Hagar in the Circle.
Turn your home into restricted airspace. Tell incoming flights you want them diverted. The new Raid Essentials Light Trap plugs into the wall and uses light to attract, then trap flying insects like fruit flies and mosquitoes. Its 24/7 continuous attraction provides insecticide-free protection that's people and pet friendly. Consider air service interrupted. New Raid Essentials Light Trap. Insecticide-free protection.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa"?
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hey kids, it's Carmichael Dave from my good friends at Fire Wings, the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. A great place to enjoy all the ball games from all around the country with 21 delicious flavors to choose from. Bone in, bone out. For more convenience, order online. Go to firewings.com, find a location near you, grab that order online and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you. Fire Wings, hey, just wing it.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your new home for 49ers football in the 916.
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headline.
Good morning, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. The Sacramento Kings were defeated 80-70 last night versus the Los Angeles Clippers in the Las Vegas Summer League. Top draft pick Colby Jones led the Kings with 19 points, making 8 of 13 shots. The Kings played their third Vegas Summer League game tonight against the Chicago Bulls. The game tips off at 7 p.m. on ESPN2. If you missed any of today's show, head to SactownSports.com and listen to all 4 hours of the show on our podcast and YouTube feeds. Those are your headlines. It's time for hour number 3 of the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone. And then
boom, with Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
We've got Kings basketball tonight, and 1 hour from now, JayMarrZZ and I will be talking to Bob Gerald, hoopobsession.com, son of the G-Man, Gary Gerald. He's been at all these Summer League games, the Classic, carried those on Sactown Sports. He was on the call with us for that, and he's been in attendance for these games, so we will pick his brain on more NBA hoops out here in Las Vegas, some Kings stuff and league-wide stuff. So 1 hour from now, he will join us.
Jason, I know you said, did you catch the end of the Pacers-Wizards game you were at? Were you there for any of that?
Was it Wizard? I thought it was Magic. Pacers Magic last night.
Okay, then I must be looking at a picture from a game prior to that. It was a Pacers Wizards game.
Okay.
Miles Turner's outfit.
Oh, I think I saw him yesterday.
The pink pants.
He was not wearing that, but it was something else. I go, who's that? I go, I think that's Miles Turner. He's wearing something pretty special yesterday, too.
Yeah, but in this picture I'm looking at, dude, he just looks like he's dressed like someone's mom at a high school graduation.
What?
It's so weird.
Okay.
It's like, we're just doing this to do this now. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry, that just caught my eye. I was just wondering if you were there for it in person.
Yeah.
Fashion is all about confidence.
I guess.
Yeah. Kyle sells his outfits. I would say his uniforms. His outfits.
But Kyle's is different. Kyle, again, is not dressed like somebody's mom at high school graduation.
No, he's not. He's not. He's making a statement with a shirt.
Like Kyle, it fits Kyle.
Yeah.
Like what Kyle does works because it's it works.
Yeah.
That don't work for Miles. Not the best.
Yeah. You've got, what's that, Dodger sweatshirt today?
Yes.
Dodger sweater. I'm wearing old school KHTK t-shirt.
Well, I can't. Hold on.
Yeah, it's up.
JayMarrZ has to look at it. I like it.
It's good.
It's got the old school logo on it. It's very
Sports
cool.
1140 KHTK, old school. Speaking of old school, tonight, I think when you think about the All-Star game, guys, I think like baseball, I think we did this exercise. I think I was in Vegas a couple years ago with you and Kyle Madsen, and we were talking about where baseball was. And look, we know the stars. I think they've done an okay. Well, no, they haven't done a great job of highlighting them. I think those stars have been good enough to get our attention. Shohei, Judge, whatever, pick your star. Acuna, Mookie Betts, so on and so forth. But in the past, I think at that time I was trying to quiz you guys on like name a current Cincinnati Red. This was 3 or 4 years ago. This was 3 or 4 years ago, and it was like, man. But then if you go, I can name Chris Sabo, Joe Morgan, like guys
Sean
from the
Casey.
past, right? New Yankees hitting coach.
Yeah, I saw that.
But that's part of the problem with the league. And I'm looking, like tonight, you got the starting lineup, American League, Marcus Semien, Shohei Ohtani, Randy Arozarena, Corey Seager, Yandy Diaz, Adolis Garcia, Austin Hayes, Josh Jung, Jonah Heim. It's basically 5 Texas Rangers and Shohei, so on and so forth. The National League is 3 Dodgers, 3 Braves, and I know these guys.
A pear tree.
Right. But like you start going further down the list, like just take a guess. Do you guys have a guess at who the Colorado Rockies All-Star is?
I know
Chris Bryant.
I know who it is, but it's a funny name.
Yeah, it's Jay. That's a good guess, right? I mean, that's the Rocky. It's Elias Diaz.
Oh yeah, Elias Diaz. That was my second guess.
Do you know what position he plays?
That's a good question.
1 of 9.
Yeah, which one?
Outfield.
He's behind the dish. He's a catcher.
Catcher was my next guess.
And a lot of times they throw that random All-Star in as a pitcher.
Right.
Like Pittsburgh's got any guess on Pittsburgh's All-Star? They actually have 2.
No, Pittsburgh, their starting pitcher is actually an All-Star caliber guy. I'm not good at this because I saw the All-Star selection show.
You watched it?
You would watch the All-Star.
No, I was working the A's game at the station.
Okay.
It was on the TV.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
Are you a fan, by the way, of each team getting an All-Star?
No, I hate it.
Okay.
I love it because I grew up rooting for San Diego, and there's a lot of Heath Bells and Houston streets over the years.
Dude, like, no offense to Brent Rooker, not an All-Star. Right? There are other players more deserving.
He's had the best year as an A, but he's not yet.
Of course.
But then, okay, so let's do the counterbalance here. Like right now, let's see. I told you there's 1, 2, 3. It was a record 5 Texas Rangers are starting in the All-Star game. And did they get any reserves? Yeah, there's 1. So they have 1 reserve. I mean, are we better off for that? I think the Braves have like 7.
The Braves' entire starting infield is an All-Star this year.
It's
crazy. We are better for that.
Okay.
It's the All-Star game. The
Yeah.
best players in the league, regardless if 7 of them play on the same team, should be playing.
Yeah.
It just is what it is. Like, we shouldn't, like, the Braves shouldn't be penalized for having too many good players.
Yeah, they're the best record in baseball. They're getting rewarded. In the NBA, we've seen, 3 starters, 4 starters, sometimes 4 Lakers make it over the years. I remember way back when, like, they've got AC Green in the All-Star game because the team was so good, and
That's cool.
he was an all right piece of that. But if it's deserving, it's deserving. But in the NBA, you don't get every team to have representation.
Right. And look at this, like, there's injury this year, and we've seen some names added. So again, and I know I'm picking on poor Brent Rooker here. This is not his fault. Julio Rodriguez should have been voted in before Brent Rooker.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Tucker should have been in before Brent Rooker. Wander Franco should have been in before Brent Rooker. I mean, those are 3 names that should have, they shouldn't, Julio Rodriguez shouldn't have had to not be an All-Star because we had to get Brent Rooker in the game.
Right.
And also the A's are indirectly responsible for this because we mentioned who are the 2 teams that have the most All-Stars. It is the Braves with 7 and Texas with 6.
Yes.
Oh, I know what you're doing.
The Braves have Sean Murphy, former A, Matt Olson, former A. Texas has Marcus Semien starting, former A, and Jonah Heim, who they basically just gave away to Texas starting in the All-Star game.
Wasn't Heim in the Elvis Andrus trade?
Yeah, but all they got for him was salary, like money. Basically, Texas paid them money as a filler, and Jonah Heim was a prospect included.
And I know he's farther removed, but didn't Sonny Gray make it this year? He's the Twins All-Star.
Yep.
That sounds right. Yeah, he is.
Former A. So, yeah, the A's are – this is the All-Star A's.
Think about if all those guys were on the A's. We'd be
I
having
know.
the conversation we're having about the Braves right now. Like, wow,
Right.
the A's. Should we be penalizing the A's for having too many
They
good
have
players?
4. That's 4. And they are all playing for Atlanta and Texas.
Yeah.
Good
Man.
Lord.
Yeah. So, but like for the game tonight, in the All-Star game itself, you've got the starters were announced. Zach Gallen for the Diamondbacks will start the NL. Garrett Cole will start for the for the American League. And that to me, kind of back to what we were discussing earlier, like the merits of all the sports All-Star games. This is what I'm going to love tonight, Jake. So I'm a Yankee fan. I like Garrett Cole. I'm excited he's starting, but I just think about the beginning of the game. When he takes the mound, he's facing, at a minimum, Ronald Acuna Jr., followed by Freddie Freeman, and then Mookie Betts. Like that, he's going to try to get them all out. They're going to try to get hits. Like that's good baseball right there.
It is. And then for me and you, this will be fun to talk about tomorrow because all we need is for one of those guys to get on base, and Garrett Cole will have faced the heart of the order 2, 3, and 4, which are all Dodgers.
Yes, to get to JD Martinez, who's batting fourth.
JD's bangers.
the 4-hitter? Wow.
Just bangers is hitting 4.
And your former Dodger Corey Seager's hitting 4 in the AL.
Right. I'm still sad we're off of Corey Seager. But yeah, no, it's going to be a star-studded. I'll say this, you'd mentioned about, the non-names. I will say this year, I feel like I know more names, though, than any of the last 5 to 10 seasons.
I'd agree with that. In baseball, I mean, again, we're getting a lot of Shohei attention. I think he should still get even more. Acuna is incredible. Mookie's been on a great run. Normally, Judge would be there. I mean, I think soon we're going to see Ellie De La Cruz in a ton of these. So baseball, I think, is in a good spot. Whether or not people are on board, that's their own choice.
Well, baseball's in a good spot, but it's going to be on baseball to elevate that spot, right? To maintain that spot. And that's where I think the issues come in. And that's a whole different conversation. That's the problem. It's like, oh my God, look at all these young stars you have to market. And I just feel like they're going to drop the ball. No pun intended.
Yeah, Jade, never fear. Rob Manfred's on it, so we'll be okay. We will be okay.
Ew.
Yeah. We got favorite All-Star game memories. We mentioned a few earlier. We'll revisit that. Seattle's been a great showcase for the Home Run Derby, but for the previous All-Star games, we'll talk about that. More NBA coming up as well as we continue here on Sactown Sports.
It's Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Just in general, I don't want to see a no-hitter. I would...
In general?
Yes.
You don't want to be part of history?
No!
You don't even want your team throwing a no-hitter?
No! No! I paid money to watch the ball be hit over the fence. I did not pay money to see nobody hit a baseball for 2 hours. What?
It's Whitey and Watkins, debuting Monday, July 10th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Sactown Sports.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
They bleed black and purple. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on your local sports leader, Sactown Sports.
Well, coming up a little bit later, we're going to have to revisit our predictions on streaking.
Was 2 home runs away. I was 2 away from getting it right.
We have our home run derby contest from yesterday. We will streak today, just the All-Star edition. We'll have to pick a player that we think will get a hit today. We run that great promo in the break there of Whitey and Watkins, where Chris Watkins is basically losing his mind about not wanting to see hits. I mean, he wants to see hits and runs and scoring. Guys, that question for tonight's All-Star game. If we got into a spot where there was a potential no-hitter or perfect game, would that be super memorable, or do you want to see like just an all-out run barrage?
I mean, if somehow there is a combined perfect game in an
Would that
all-star
be
game,
incredible? I mean, think about
what does that say more about the pitching on the other side or the lack of hitting on the other side?
No, I think that's a pitch. That's a pitching showcase. If you do that, like you get the game's best hitters. I mean, look, the starting lineup generally gets at a minimum 1 to 2 at bat. Like if you go through the order that quickly, I guess you're going through innings, so maybe you only get 1 for the back end of that lineup. But you're hitting, the best of the best. If you're getting Shohei out twice or Betts twice, I mean, that's you're doing some great stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we'll ever see that just because there's way too much hitting on, each side.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that would be, I don't know if that's the most improbable thing that could happen in baseball, but man, that's up there.
That would be. I mean, I think to me, it doesn't have to be 14-11. I think these games generally play pretty authentically, and if I had to guess, about a 5-3 game. I mean, I don't think sometimes you get some crazy scoring, but all-star games pitching's going to win, much like they do most of the time, and there's too many good hitters, to your point, Jay, where it's kind of like a traditional baseball game.
Yeah, and I think when you think of like the highlights of the All-Star game, usually it's a hitting highlight, right?
Yeah.
Like we're very rarely showing pitching highlights from the All-Star game. This is more about offense than defense.
Yeah, there was one, I'm trying to remember, and I don't remember the murderer's row. I think it was Pedro Martinez shut down or was it, there was somebody that got 3 just incredible
Pedro was one of them.
Yeah, Pedro won an All-Star game MVP
because of it.
Yeah, where he just shut down, but I think he K'd I guess McGuire would have been on the Cardinal. I just, whatever he did, it was like some fierce, McGuire, Sosa, something else.
That was 99. That was at Fenway.
Okay. So he put on a show. I think there's been some of that. There's been individual moments. Like Seattle's had some good All-Star games. In 79, Dave Parker won the MVP. He had that great throw at home and had some big hits. Cal Ripken in 2001 won the MVP there. That was kind of his last time. They moved him from third to short. And then he hit the home run. I think it was off a Dodger Chan-Ho Park, if I remember right.
Chan-Ho Park?
Is that right?
There's no way Chan-Ho Park was in an All-Star game. If he was, that's
okay. Kyle, if my I feel like it's my Fred Lynn memory. I could be wrong.
Chan-Ho Park was a 2001 All-Star for the Dodgers.
Gross.
That's
when they should have shut baseball down.
Yeah.
Oh, Chan-Ho Park sucked.
Well, Cal Ripken hit it out of Chan-Ho Park.
Yep. You're damn right.
So he got the MVP. That was a pretty good memory there. Any other All-Star game?
Stop.
What?
He hit it out of Chan-Ho Park.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Not accepted?
No, it's just honestly too good.
I loved Bo Jackson going deep in
89
off of Rick Russell, I believe.
That was Rick Russell.
Giants pitcher. Lead off again.
Imagine giving up a big time home run in an All-Star game. Couldn't have been a Dodger.
No, couldn't have been.
Not Chan-Ho Park.
No. I think a lot of times too, it's maybe the end. Your Bonds reference earlier was a good one. I think that was Milwaukee. Was that the one that they ended it in a tie?
Yes.
And everybody was upset?
Yes. So it's all Torrey Hunter's fault for robbing Barry Bonds of that home run. If Torrey Hunter doesn't make an amazing catch, we have a winner in the All-Star game.
For how many years did they do the winner in the All-Star game gets to host the World Series?
Not that many, right?
No, I think it was 13 years or something.
Really?
Yeah. They only just changed it a few years ago. It's more than a few now, but
which is weird because again, I didn't feel like this was an All-Star game where people didn't try or tank or I'm not showing up. I know they wanted to put more incentive on it, but I didn't think it needed it.
No, it didn't need it. I understood the thought process of it, but could you imagine being, and this is what sucks about it, being a team that, won 110 games, right? And you're in the World Series and you don't have home field advantage against a team that had 17 less wins than you. That's
right.
BS.
Yeah, it didn't seem to, why would it matter that and that World Series could be, like you said, Dodgers, whatever, pick two teams, Dodgers, Yankees, the two best teams that year, let's say, and they get there, and you're getting the results of home field advantage because a Pittsburgh Pirate got a hit off a Detroit Tiger.
Or you lost home field advantage because Brent Rooker struck out in the ninth with the bases loaded.
My goodness.
So they did it for 14 years after the famous Bud Selig shrugging because he didn't know what to do. They
just keep playing, Bud. Keep playing.
You can draw a direct line between Bud Selig viral moment and them changing the rule, but they did it from 2003 to 2016.
I did not think it was that long. That's crazy.
Didn't need it. I mean, it was fine. It was added, but didn't need it. I'm glad they don't have it anymore. Now you just play and put on a show and push forward to the second half of the season.
Also, fun plot line for tonight. The American League has won every All-Star game since 2012.
Seriously? They're on that long of a run?
Yep. I believe that's 10 in a row. So that is looking to be broken tonight.
That's major ownage. I'm just trying to look something up real quick. How many of the titles have the American League won? World Series titles since then? You said since 2012. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, they've won 5.
Yeah, it's pretty split even between American League and National League because you had the Giants in 14, the Cubs in 16, the Dodgers. No, not the Dodgers. Dodgers in 20, Nationals in 19. Yeah, it's been 5 and 5.
So equivalent to we were doing payroll yesterday. You know, the Yankees are up there. I think they only have do they only have the one All-Star? Yeah.
Yeah, the Yankees aren't very good this year.
Hey, watch it.
No, I'm just serious. Like
last place.
Yeah, like the Yankees.
Last place.
Not anymore, but they were at one point.
Come on, they're in the wild card race.
I guess when you factor in, I mean, granted, with judging, hey,
Jury.
tell me if you've heard this before. Stanton's hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, with those injuries.
You know how you were saying Pujols doing the home run derby would be cool as like a throwback? Are we getting close to that stage with Stanton?
I think we are. I think throwback Stanton and the home run derby is going to be a thing soon.
I'm telling you, though, when he hits the ball, like there's no one hits the ball harder than Stanton.
Yeah, when he hits it.
Yeah, I'll never forget the derby. He hit it off the scoreboard in San Diego. That's impossible. I couldn't believe it.
Not.
Stanton did it somehow.
Reggie Jackson once hit the ball off the lights in the All-Star game.
That's right. The Tiger Stadium. Old Tiger Stadium.
Old Tiger Stadium.
Way old Tiger Stadium.
I like how we say Old Tiger Stadium like there's a new one. There's not.
There is.
No,
I mean,
Comerica Park.
But they called it Tiger Stadium when it first opened.
Which was dumb.
Yeah, then they got that corporate sponsor.
Yeah, then they're
money.
like, oh, let's make some money off of this real quick.
Exactly. Capitalize like every other team, every other organization
Speaking
does.
of which, can either of you name the Tigers All-Star?
Mark
I did see this. It's a pitcher. Is it like starts with an L? Lorenzen?
Yeah, you got it.
Right.
Yeah, you got it. Michael Lorenzen.
Michael Lorenzen. Let's go with Jared Lorenzen. Lorenzen Wright, Jay. That was a good pull, too.
Thank you.
R.I.P. Yeah. See, do we need him? I mean, I don't know the stats.
You do not need Michael Lorenzen.
So the way they do the All-Star game is they get basically 2 per position in the pitchers. There was only 3 players that they had to like add as extras this year. It was Rooker, it was Elias Diaz with the Rockies, and Lorenzen. Every other team got an All-Star in the first round of voting.
Wow. Just wow. Well, tonight is the Midsummer Classic. Hopefully you enjoy it. Your starters are Zach Gallen versus Garrett Cole. You can watch Jay's Dodgers just fill up the lineup. Who's managing?
Is it the previous World Series?
I believe
managers?
That's right.
So that would be
Dusty and
I'll root for Dusty.
Dusty and the Phillies guy.
Yeah, him.
Yeah, the guy who took over last year. See, that's the other part of it. Phillies guy. Like, where's Tommy Lasorda?
Rob Thompson, that's his name. I just pulled that finally.
Tommy
Tommy
Lasorda is no longer with us.
I know, but that's an All-Star game memory. Where's Joe Torre?
He's still with us.
He's still with us. Rob Thompson is the Phillies manager. Could we pick him out of a lineup?
Yeah.
Okay.
I could get their previous manager before him. Or actually, their 2 previous managers.
Where's Grady Little?
Oh, boy.
Gabe Kapler.
Listen, there's a lot of people that would love Gabe Kapler to manage the All-Star game.
I think there are. You're right.
Like Gabe Kapler's I hate the Giants. I enjoy Gabe Kapler a lot.
Why is that?
He's just a cool guy.
Yeah.
Like he's out there just
he does some quirky things, but that's okay.
Exactly.
I'm for quirky.
He's cool. He doesn't show up his pitchers, but then he rips him a new one in the dugout. It's great.
He's not your typical baseball player.
No, he's really not. Like Kapler's just not a manager you're used to.
That's true.
Like there haven't been a whole lot of managers like Gabe Kapler. I'm here for Gabe Kapler as a manager.
By the way, we were just ripping Stanton. I forgot he won MVP of the All-Star game last year.
Thank you.
Just happened to be healthy at the right time.
Put some respect on his name. All right, when we come back, Victor Wembanyama shut down for the rest of Las Vegas Summer League, and Dame time may turn into wait time. We've got all that and more NBA notes coming your way next. You're on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
This is your source for the 49ers.
Oh, it was awful. It was awful.
Did that leave a bitter taste in your mouth?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Me and Kyle had a long meeting the other day. We watched tape. We talked about it. We put it behind us. And just going through the tape and just look how sluggish and like how bad it looked on tape. Like I said, just reflecting on last offseason, it kind of played a big role in that. And I'll never put nothing like that back on tape again.
Tune into Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for the latest 49ers offseason developments.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's Tuesday. We're out the door to a mild start to the day as we head through the afternoon. Plenty of sunshine, light southwest winds, and temperatures warmer with highs in the mid-90s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Shop Folsom Lake Kia for all your favorite models at low prices and payments, plus low finance rates and zero down deals with approved credit. Go see my friends at Folsom Lake Kia right here in Sacramento for over 20 years.
Summertime is a great time to get your home evaluated for solar, and while you're at it, make sure your roof is in good shape for all seasons. Hey, Jason Ross here to tell you about ACR Solar and Home Services. Go to acrsolar.com to find out all the different things that they can provide for you. And while we're all watching utility costs go up, along with everything else, why not make the most of the sunshine beating down on your roof? Harness that solar power and cut those rising utility bills while at the same time improving the value of your home. ACR Solar and Home Services makes it easy with a simple evaluation that'll show you just what it would take to get your home generating savings that help your bottom line and help protect the environment. So start now, and while you're there, ACR Solar and Home Services can make sure your roof is in prime condition. So just go to acrsolar.com and start your savings today. ACR Solar and Home Services, quality, value, and integrity since 1979.
Y'all ready to do it again, Sacramento? Country in the Park 2 is coming to Hart Health Park at Cal Expo Saturday, September 9th with Cole Swindell, Chris Jansen, Dylan Scott, and more. Plus, a mechanical pool, line dancing saloon, and all the food. Tickets start at $40 or grab your Coors Light Y'all Access passes for $125. For more info, visit SactownSports.com. Country in the Park 2, brought to you by Hoblet Dodge, E2 Family Winery, and Hyatt Vacation Club.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
For a business to thrive, there needs to be a constant stream of new customers. This happens through strong lead generation. Did you know that lead generation is one of the most important tools of any marketing campaign? Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products and services to them. To get started today, contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results today.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
Good morning, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. The Sacramento Kings were defeated 80-70 last night versus the Los Angeles Clippers in the Las Vegas Summer League. Top draft pick Colby Jones led the Kings with 19 points, making 8 of 13 shots. The Kings play their third Las Vegas Summer League game tonight against the Chicago Bulls. The game tips off at 7 o'clock p.m. on ESPN2. If you missed any of today's show, head to SactownSports.com and listen to all 4 hours on our podcast and YouTube feeds. Those are your headlines. It's time to resume the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Waking you up with the best in local sports.
They just make it interesting, you know?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sactown Sports.
30 minutes from now, we'll be checking in with Bob Gerald, hoopobsession.com. He's out here in Vegas checking out the Kings and all the games. He is a hoops junkie, Jay. He's here for the duration from the beginning to the end, and he's at the arena, both arenas, basically all day. He just loves himself some basketball.
I had mentioned, I think it's somewhere around like 98, 99% of the Summer League watching audiences, they have like 3, 4, maybe 5 specific players that they know and want to see. Bob Gerald can give you an in-depth analysis on the 15th player on the Washington Wizards Summer League team.
He'll have a take.
Fair, right?
Yeah. He was there, and he braved it. I saw him and G-Man and Bob's wife. They're all up there watching and just braving that Kings game last night. Not the best version of the Kings, but they're back at it tonight. We'll see how they do against the Chicago Bulls. I don't know if Jordan or Pippen are playing, but we'll report that when we find out.
They're both missing the game tonight. However, Pete Myers is playing.
Pete Myers is in.
I think Will Perdue's also in.
Will Perdue, boy. If he sets some screens for Paxson, it'd be tougher for Luke Locke's squad.
Yeah, and I really hope they get Jed Bushler some run in Chicago. I feel like he's a guy been stuck at the end of the bench. Just really hasn't been appreciated much.
Yeah. If Nemi's not ready, Eddie Curry could have a game.
Well, remember what he did? He destroyed Brad Miller at Arco Arena a couple seasons ago. So yeah, no, you're gonna definitely need a big body like Nemi to shut down the great Eddie Curry.
Yes. So that's Kings
We
tonight.
could go down random Bulls from the 90s and the 2000s for the rest of the show.
I genuinely thought 2 of those people were on the Summer League for the Bulls. They're all from the 80s and 90s.
Yes.
No, 90s and 2000s.
Yeah, it's
We're
a
not
throwback.
that old.
No.
Sure.
Sorry, Eddie Curry is not that old.
Jason, you'd been not proud of me. I put on an old Kings Bulls game from 87 that was on the NBA TV app. I had no recollection that former teammate of Michael Jordan, Elston Turner, Kings legendary assistant coach.
I have to admit, Jay, I'm going to admit it publicly. I did not know that either.
Yeah,
really?
like Elston Turner checks in the game. I'm like, what?
How did ET look? How do you do?
It's fine.
Yeah?
Yeah, I could have boxed.
I love that you watch old games.
Yeah, no, it's not great. Like, I know it's not like
you have a problem.
It is. It's not something to brag about. That's for sure.
Yeah. But you do it. You're committed to it.
Hey, man, we all have our vices, all right?
Yeah, we do. We do. I think a lot of people out here in Vegas, they have many vices, but a lot of them came to watch Victor Wembanyama. His first game was fine. That was the showcase. That was the highlight. Everybody wanted to see that first game. He had stars coming in. It was much better in his second game, and the Spurs, Jay, have said, you know what? We're good. Let's protect him. We're going to shut him down for the rest of Vegas.
Put him in bubble wrap. No more Victor Wembanyama. It's like, I get it. If Victor Wembanyama was a Sacramento King, I'd be saying the exact same thing, right? It would be like, don't even run him out there.
Yeah.
But as a non-Spurs fan or any other fan that Victor would have played or team that Victor would have played for, it's just like, no, dude. This is like why we watch Summer League. This is the draw of Summer League, is to watch the top picks in action, right?
When we get to, you're right, and when we get to preseason and regular season, I don't think the Spurs have had to say it or have to say it to us, but how do you think they're going to handle him? I mean, is he a guy that's going to play all 82, or are they going to do some load management? How do you think they'll care for him?
I feel like load managing a rookie sets a really bad precedent. But Greg Popovich is also the godfather of load management.
Yep.
So I would not be entirely shocked if we see some load managing of Victor Wembanyama, just because when you look at his frame, it's going to be really interesting to see how he, takes 82 games worth of basketball, taking hits from grown men. I'm not saying the kid's going to be injury prone his whole career, but he does have a rail thin body.
Yeah.
And I think he's built better than Chet Holmgren, but I told you last week watching Chet Holmgren in the Salt Lake City Summer League, like, man, when he got in the lane and he took contact from some bigger guys, he would fall to the ground and it would take him a while to get up. So I'm interested to see how Victor's going to adjust to NBA contact. And I wouldn't be surprised if over an 82 game season, we're going to see him parked, for a couple because of stuff like that.
Yeah, like you said it too. The Spurs, or Pop specifically, has been the kind of the godfather, the initiator of a lot of this. But that was with an older Spurs team. But this is a project that they want to preserve for as long as possible. He doesn't really have the injury history, but you don't want it to get started and then have an injury history. So we'll see how they do. But they shut him down for the rest of Vegas. That makes some sense. The other news around the NBA. The Blazers and their GM Joe Cronin came out, spoke publicly, said, look, I think they still want to do ultimately, Jay, deliver Dame to a team and trade him, but it's got to be right for the organization. And his wording and phrasing said was, look, this could take months. And that probably took a lot of people back, especially Dame's camp.
I think it took a lot of people back, but I also think we have to look at the situation and say this is exactly what Portland should be doing. I understand the loyalty to Dame Lillard. I understand wanting to get him to his destination where he eventually wants to be. And by all reports, it's Miami or bust for Dame, right? Miami still has to put together a competitive package in order to get him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think right now, Miami's kind of overplaying that hand. It doesn't sound like Portland has any interest in Tyler Hero, but that's the one carrot they keep dangling. And then when you look at draft compensation for a player like Dame, you're thinking, 3 first-round picks probably is somewhere in that vicinity, especially if you're getting back non-all-star players for him. Jason, I don't feel like 3 Miami first-round picks is good compensation because the likelihood is those picks aren't going to be great because Miami is consistently a really good team.
Yeah, and if they add Dame, they're going to even be better.
Yes.
So just let's go to it without knowing what Miami would give up. Just the core of Dame, Bam, and Jimmy. Title contender to you?
100%.
Okay.
100%.
I mean, they already were last year, right?
Yeah, you add Dame to that mix, and I also really believe in Pat Riley's ability to, again, get guys off the scrap heap, so to speak, late second-round picks, undrafted players, bring them into the quote-unquote Heat culture and make them into role players. I mean, the NBA Finals was literally that put on display with bright lights underneath it. The Gabe Vincents of the world, the Max Struses of the world, like guys like that who, by the way, both left Miami and signed lucrative deals in other markets. The undrafted players. And, they have a guy like Jaime Jaquez. I think he's going to be a role player getting decent minutes for them from day one. So you factor that in. Now you add a superstar level talent. Yeah, I 100% believe Miami's a title contender.
Yeah, and then you look at the situation here with Dame, how long they will wait to get the right piece. I mean, the right thing. And it opens up the thought, okay, if they don't have enough, can there be a third team? I don't know if the Kings can get involved. I always try to push things for the Kings, but I don't know what makes sense, but it feels like they need to get a third team.
I almost think they might need to even get a fourth team. I mean, you've heard Brooklyn rumored, but I like where you're going with the Kings. So let's say the Kings get involved. Like, what does that look like, you think, from the Kings side as far as what they're sending out and what they could possibly get in return that might be appealing for a team like Sacramento to get in?
Yeah, because so I think in this, the main piece obviously is Dame, which would end up in Miami. So Miami's getting enough. Unless other stuff needs to be thrown in. But that's the biggest salary there. Obviously, Portland feels like they're not getting enough. So the Kings would be sending something, in my mind, to Portland. I don't know what Portland's looking at, a young player probably. And what would the Kings be willing to part with that adds to whatever a Tyler Hero draft pick package?
Is it like a Davion Mitchell? Does that get Portland's interest?
Maybe something like that. Now that thins out the Kings backcourt.
Because the other side of this real quick is, what is Portland looking for? Like, because it seems like they want pieces to compete almost.
Yeah, because they've kind of done at first, like they jumped in there when they added and kept Jeremy Grant to a significant salary free agent signing. So I thought, okay, are they trying to please Dame? And then when Brandon Miller went too, then they're like, look, we got to take Scoot. You've already got Simons. You've got Dame. You've got Shaden Sharp. Like, it feels like, Jay, they need to tear it. They need to tear it. And I'd even move if someone's interested in Nurkic. If you can flip Jeremy Grant, not that he's that old, but like
By the way, I don't even think you can trade Jeremy Grant right now.
You're right. No, he just signed. You're right. So at some point, but maybe that's a future piece, and almost go all in. Like, Houston last year was super young, and now they've already boosted and added some veterans. But or OKC's kind of committed to that youth and draft picks. The Blazers have the youth They still have Dame as their best player. They don't have the draft capital, but they don't have to do it via draft capital. They could do it via talent in return for Dame, but I don't think Miami has enough for it for them.
No, and then like you say, if you're Sacramento, okay, I mean, Sacramento has some win now pieces if that's where Portland's at, right? I mean, even Davion Mitchell is young, but a guy that's going to come in and contribute immediately on that team. Kevin Huerter's a young guy that is, again, I look at Kevin as a win now type of player. Harrison Barnes, who I don't believe the Kings can trade. I mean, the Kings have a bunch of those guys, but I just don't feel like there's anybody on Portland's roster that would justify the Kings sending a guy like that out. And I think there's some guys on Miami's roster who you could have a conversation about, but it doesn't really seem like Miami wants to part with any of these guys. That's the other issue here is Miami has a ton of good players on their roster, but we did this earlier. We went through the list. Like, they don't even want to trade a Caleb Martin.
Right.
I can't imagine they want to trade Jaime Jaquez.
No.
Yeah, it's just really strange how Miami is operating in this.
Yeah.
Like, they're really focused on, hey guys, Tyler Hero's the piece. Dude, Tyler Hero makes $27 million next year.
Right. Good player. And I feel like, again, that's the one they're willing to. And I'm sure Portland is intrigued, but they want more. And I would too for Dame Lillard, especially when you've seen some of these other deals, what some of these teams have been able to get for some of their players.
Yeah. And so what's the more there? Is it Duncan Robinson? I feel like his quote unquote star is kind of dimmed the last couple years.
Yeah.
Again, Caleb Martin sounds like they don't want to get off of. I think Jaime Jaquez Jr. would be a really nice young piece to get over, but again, it doesn't sound like they want to get off of him. At that point, you're pretty thin after that. There's not really much intrigue there on that roster.
And to your other point, unless you get an absurd amount of draft picks, but Miami's generally a good team, and you're not getting that great draft result, even if you get 5 first-rounders over the next whatever years.
I'm just being honest. I don't think it's a lock Dame ends up in Miami because it just doesn't really seem like there's a workable deal given what Miami's assets are.
Right. Well, we'll see where that ultimately goes as we continue to talk more about the NBA. When we come back, though, we will revisit how we did on our home run derby contest, and we'll have a streaking for tonight's All-Star game as Jay and I continue here on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton & Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton & Price in your corner. When you call Ashton & Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real-life person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Players of all abilities will tell you that Bartley Cavanaugh Golf Course is the area's #1 course for fun. Whether you're a beginner or an accomplished player, Bartley Cavanaugh has something for you. It's a great walking course, but motorized carts are available too. The moderately sized greens and generous fairway landing areas will add to your satisfaction and smiles for the day. Near the banks of the picturesque Sacramento River, Bartley Cavanaugh features the brand new tap room for all your beverage needs. For tea times, visit bartleycavanaugh.com. It's Sacramento's #1 course for fun.
Hello, Sacramento. Doug Christie here, and I have something to share. Recently, I asked myself to determine the one most indispensable thing I use to do my job, the one I couldn't do without. The winner, forget the phone, which I live on, and the video editor, which makes my life understandable. The winner was the Good Feet 3-step arch support system. Yes, the one I tell you about each week keeps me going comfortably supported, pain relieved, and vital. So it strikes me that if Good Feet is the most important go-to tool to relieve pain or just keep me going, shouldn't you give it a try? I think so. Come to the Good Feet store today for a free, no obligation arch support fitting, then take them for a test walk. Experience the comfort, balance, and support of the Good Feet 3-step arch support system. Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
Attention home services contractors who want to grow their business with more leads while leveraging their marketing costs to receive over 10 times the value in advertising. Subcontractors United is offering 40 home services contractors from architects to landscapers to participate in our advertising co-op. For less than $2,100 per month, you'll share in over $83,000 a month in advertising. That's $1 million a year in advertising for under $2,100 a month. And because there's only 3 subcontractors per category, not 3,000, your lead potential is unlimited. Generate more leads than you ever thought possible. Be one of only 3 subcontractors in a category and receive $1 million a year in advertising by leveraging the power of a united group. That's subcontractorsunited.com or Google Subcontractors United for more information. But hurry, categories are filling up.
Get your superhero squad together and join forces as we take on the Minnesota Twins on Saturday, July 15th during Marvel Superhero Day. All fans can enjoy this special Marvel-themed day at the ballpark, along with fun photo opportunities, character appearances, and in-game features as part of the fun. Get there early to snag a Captain Marvel bobblehead presented by Extra Mile. Tickets start at just $10 and are available at athletics.com/tickets. That's athletics.com/tickets.
The Gold Rush Classic, where the stars and guitars shine. The Gold Rush Classic Stars and Guitars concert is Friday, July 14th in Rancho Murrieta, featuring Atlanta Rhythm Section and Skin and Leonard. Enjoy the smooth southern sounds of Atlanta Rhythm Section and their award-winning hits, Spooky, So Into You, Champagne Jam, Imaginary Lover, and more. 2 bands, 1 great night of southern rock. The Gold Rush Classic, where the stars and guitars shine. Tickets are available through goldrushclassic.org or through Eventbrite. What's hot and what's not? Brought to you by American Energy Heat and Air, making the uncomfortable comfortable. Head to AmericanEnergyAir.com to find out more.
What's hot?
Yeah, hot. Real hot. And what's not?
It's not good. Brought to you by American Energy Heating and Air, Sacramento's complete heating and cooling company, and second opinion partner.
All right, Kyle, tell us who is hot.
Who's hot?
Yeah.
Well, that would be Paul Reed.
B-ball Paul.
Thank you. So I don't know if you guys saw this story, but Paul Reed just got a new contract with the Philadelphia 76ers. It is a 3-year, $23 million contract. $7.8 million are guaranteed. If the Sixers make the second round of the playoffs, the rest of his contract becomes guaranteed.
Nice.
And the story
Not
of
nice.
It's a weird poison pill in the contract.
It's mean.
And B-ball
Team
Paul,
incentive.
he was the second to last pick in the 2020 NBA draft. He was a G League MVP in 2021 and has now worked his way up to getting a $23 million contract in the NBA.
Potentially.
The reason why it's mean, Jason, is that was a contract match.
Yeah.
The Philadelphia 76ers did not say, hey, Paul Reed, here's the guarantee in 1 year. If we get to the playoffs, though, the rest of it becomes guaranteed. No, that was Danny Ainge and the Utah Jazz who put that pill in there. Now, did they put that in there because they're like, oh, there's no way Philly matches this if we do this? Or did they know Philly was going to match it and he wanted to mess with their salary cap situation?
I like either. I like the evil part of it.
Yeah, because Danny Ainge is lightweight evil, right?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe not even lightweight. He might be all in on being evil.
Yeah, he might be heavyweight evil.
Also, going back to our conversation from earlier, maybe the best free agent signing Portland ever had.
Paul Reed?
Danny Ainge?
Danny Ainge.
I thought he was traded. He was traded to Portland.
Yeah, from the Kings.
Yeah, the Kings traded him to Portland.
For, if I got it right, let me see, Steven Coulter.
And I also think Byron Irvin. I want to
Byron
say it was
Irvin.
both. Wow. But Coulter is correct. I think Portland got the better end of that deal, if I'm just being honest.
Danny Ainge was actually a really good King. He was only there maybe a half a season, but he was good.
Oh, he was great. But Danny, I don't know if you remember when Danny retired, finished out his career in Phoenix, and he was asked about his time in Sacramento, and he just bashed Sacramento.
Well, times have changed, Jay. It's much better now. We didn't have the beam back then.
No, do you think if they had the beam in the Arco Arena days, like Danny Ainge would have finished a career in Sacramento?
They wouldn't have been able to light it very much.
That's true.
Except for the early 2000s.
Would the lighting of the beam be more, like it would have been way better back then, just because it's like, oh my gosh, it's a once in a while thing. Yeah.
Yeah. What year was it? Tyreek's? No, the year before Tyreek, 2008. That was or 2009. One of those two was their lowest win total ever, where they won 17.
It was 08-09, because remember we all thought we were getting the number one pick and we
Blake
saw
Griffin.
4. Yeah.
So that was the worst year. 17 wins, 17 lighting of the beams would have been rough.
Oof.
Well,
they would have been special.
If they keep the beam going, eventually the Kings have to miss the playoffs again. So
I don't like this kind of talk, Kyle. I think they're playoff bound from here on out.
I hate to inform you, Jason, but Steve Coulter not part of that trade.
What?
On August 1st, 1990, the Sacramento Kings traded Danny Ainge to the Portland Trailblazers for Byron Irvin, a 1991 first-round pick, and a 1992 second-round pick. Do you know who those picks were?
Fred Lynn.
Close. The second-round pick was Brett Roberts.
What was the other year? What year?
91, first-round pick.
91, first-round pick. I don't.
Pete Chilcutt.
Chili.
So that trade netted the Kings Brett Roberts, who I don't think ever played for them, Chili, and Byron Irvin.
Why did I feel like it was Steve Coulter?
I don't know.
Just off on that
It
one.
sounded correct.
Yeah, again, one of those things that was in my head, but this was incorrect.
And Irvin did not play. He played in the CBA that year.
I had his jersey, though.
You did?
Yeah. The
Really?
Byron Irvin Kings jersey.
Cool.
Yes. Who's not hot?
Who's not?
Byron Irvin.
Well, I wasn't going to say him, but maybe not.
Oh, maybe this is why. Hold on. Sorry, not to jump. The Kings, on October 30th, 1990, traded Byron Irvin to the Washington Bullets for Steve Coulter.
There's
the tie.
I knew it was connected.
They have it.
Wow.
Now I feel better.
Who's not?
Who?
The Oakland Athletics. No, it's the
come
Oakland
on.
Athletics.
You can't say that with your Cell shirt on.
Well, we're doing it anyways. JayMarrZ mentioned that Brent Rooker is the all-star for the Oakland Athletics
Yeah,
in
he
tonight's
is.
all-star game. So I looked up what Brent Rooker's WAR was for this season, which for those
What's
who
it
don't know,
good
wins
for?
above replacement is a statistic that says how do you add value compared to the last player on the bench. And Brent Rooker's career WAR is a 0.0.
That's
So he is
all-star
not
worthy, baby.
better than anything they could put. So we have the same WAR as Brett Rooker.
Maybe his WAR is on the All-Star game, right? Like
Could
maybe
be.
it's the 0.0s because, like, look, dude, the other guy at the end of the bench on the All-Star team is really good.
Yeah, maybe that's fair. Or maybe it's compared to every other Major League Baseball player.
Okay, well, I feel like this is my fault, Jason, because I feel like I unfairly pointed out Brent Rooker's All-Star game.
Also, you know,
and of course, Mr. Anti-A over there is going to go
Yes.
full on with it.
so you know how I said I was watching the All-Star selection show because I was working in studio that day?
You were
They
the
announced
one.
Brent Rooker's All-Star selection with the AL infielders, despite the fact Rooker has played a career 0 games in the infield.
I thought it was during a
That's-
Taco Bell commercial.
It's about as good as ESPN last night saying that Vladmir Guerrero Jr. was the first Cuban to win the home run derby.
That's tough.
Vladmir Guerrero Jr., not Cuban.
And there were 3 Cubans in the home run derby.
He wasn't one of them.
Wow.
I saw that. I was like, oh my gosh.
Well, guys, speaking of home run derby, we did not do so well in our contest. We had a little snake draft. We were asked to pick the longest home run, the fewest home runs, and the derby winner. If we recap, our derby winner selections, I selected Pete Alonso. He didn't get through the first round. Jay, you selected Mookie Betts. He did not get through the first round. Kyle, you picked Randy Arozarena, who had a terrific home run derby, but he was not the champ.
Point Kyle, though, for being the closest.
2 away. 2 home runs away. You hit the most of anyone last night.
Yep. Fewest home runs. Kyle, you said Adley Rutschman. Jay, you said Randy Arozarena.
I just missed it.
And I said Dolis Garcia. And the fewest went to Los Angeles Dodger Mookie Betts.
Okay, so since I picked him to win and I had him on my team, do I somehow get like a quarter of a point
A de
for
facto
that?
point?
Yeah.
We give him a negative point.
Shut
I
up.
think so. Yeah, I think you're on the
he
plus
had the-
minus.
He had
you're
the
negative.
winner being the fewest and the most being the guy who, or he had the fewest being the guy who hit the most.
Yeah. Longest home runs. Kyle, you said the hometown favorite, Julio Rodriguez. Jay, you said Adolis Garcia. I said Luis Robert. And Luis Robert hit the longest home run.
I wish I had done research before this because I didn't
He hits
realize
bombs.
Luis Robert. It looks like he's holding a toothpick.
It does. 487 feet was the longest.
I
home
feel
run
like
hit.
I would have been correct had Garcia's pitcher
Tried.
understood
Not
the
point
idea
shaved.
was to let him hit the
Yes.
ball, not try to strike him out.
Well,
So
we have a
I'm
chance,
calling
guys.
BS on that whole thing.
You know what? We can make good now. We're going to play a modified version of the All-Star Game edition of Let's Go Streaking. Yes.
It's time to go streaking.
We're going streaking!
Who is the Nostradamus of MLB? Who can keep the streak going? It's time to go streaking.
What the hell are you doing?
We're streaking.
All right, guys, here we go. Here's how we're going to play. It doesn't count to our regular season, but it's an all-star game with a caveat, with a twist. Here's what we're going to have to do today. We get to pick one player looking to get a hit today in the all-star game, but the parameters, no starters.
Oh.
We have to pick a reserve, so they may only get one plate appearance. They may not even get a plate appearance. We just have to take a flyer in the dark at an all-star reserve getting a hit. I will go first, and I'm going to pick from the Kansas City Royals, behind the dish, Salvador Perez, to get me about a seventh-inning single.
Wow, you're even calling the inning and the hit.
Sure, why not?
I'm into that. All right, that's cool. Go ahead, Kyle.
I get to go next?
Yeah. Sure.
I'm just going to be a homer and pick the Rebel Captain Juan Soto to be the player off the bench who gets a hit.
That's a good call.
I feel like both of you guys are missing the obvious answer here.
No, there's no obvious answer. Who is it, Jay?
Which former Oakland A?
The answer is Bo Bichette.
Just because he gets a bunch of hits?
Yes.
Okay.
He's going to get like a little bloop single. That's what I'm calling a flare. Yes.
Yeah, I kind of mistimed this. Juan Soto's going to draw a walk. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, no. Bo Bichette is
work.
getting a hit tonight.
Okay. A bloop
Oh, but
single.
I'll say this. He's going to get a hit that breaks up a no-hitter.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm
All right,
lying.
I'm putting that in there.
No, don't put that in
If
there.
you call that, that's great. That's
Dude,
great.
if I call that, we have to retire. Let's go streaking.
That's true.
That's where we end the game.
We got Salvador Perez, we got Juan Soto, and we got Bo Bichette. You know what else we got? Yeah, you might. What else we got is Bob Gerald. We got some hoops talk. NBA, Kings in Vegas. Bob Gerald, hoopobsession.com, joins Jay and I next here on Sactown Sports.
The Kings are running it back.
He's got the bucket at the buzzer. Harrison Barnes. Alex Lynn just went above the iron with a two-hand throwdown. And that was as nasty as we've seen him in a Kings uniform.
And welcoming some new faces.
Oh, and here comes Vezenkov. He gets the big finish.
Fisher rejected by Mr. Vezenkov.
Keep it locked on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Did you know about 1/3 of our lives is spent sleeping? Hi, this is Franklin Rosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. If we're going to spend that much time in our bedrooms, then our bedrooms ought to reflect our personalities. I remember many weekend mornings when our kids would jump into our beds trying to coax us to start our days more on their schedules than ours. Naturewood Home Furnishings' huge bedroom sale is here, and there's no better time to find the perfect accent piece for your bedroom, or even better, to start fresh by designing your bedroom to fit your lifestyle. From a new mattress and foundation to dressers to nightstands to lamps and more. Naturewood Home Furnishings will help you create a space from simple to luxurious and anything in between. Just drop by and let Naturewood's team help you envision a bedroom fit for 1/3 of your life. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable bedroom sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street, right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
O'Reilly. Does your vehicle have over 75,000 miles? Get maximum high mileage engine protection with Syntec Full Synthetic High Mileage Motor Oil exclusively at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Right now, get 5 quarts of Syntec High Mileage and a MicroGuard Select Oil Filter for just $34.99. Limit supply. Ask for Syntec High Mileage at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Good morning, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. The Sacramento Kings were defeated 80-70 last night versus the Los Angeles Clippers in the Vegas Summer League. Top draft pick Colby Jones led the Kings with 19 points, making 8 of 13 shots. The Kings play their third Las Vegas Summer League game tonight against the Chicago Bulls. Game tips off at 7 o'clock p.m. on ESPN2. In baseball, Vladmir Guerrero Jr. defeated Randy Arozarena in the final to win the 2023 MLB Home Run Derby. If you missed any of today's show, head to SactownSports.com, and you can listen to all 4 hours on our podcasts and YouTube feeds. Those are your headlines. It's time to chat with Bob Gerald here on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
All right, final hour of today's show. Jason Ross, JayMarrZZ. Carmichael Dave is off today. He's back with us next week. But it is time to go to the hotline and bring in our guest, Bob Gerald, hoopobsession.com. You heard him on the call with the G-Man during the California Classic, and he is the personification of a hoops junkie. Bob joining me, Jason Ross, JayMarrZZ here. Bob, how are you?
I'm well. What's going on, Jay and Jay?
We are hanging in. I got to ask you if you're hanging in, because you're into this, and last night's game probably tested the limit of being a hoop junkie. That was a rough watch, wasn't it?
It was pretty bad. That was definitely not going to Springfield in the Hall of Fame. That was one of those where it was like, yeah, this is rough. Yeah, the Kings are challenged to score right now without Keegan Murray on that team, and I thought Colby Jones did a good job last night again. I thought he's been really good so far in summer. I like what I see there, but yeah, last night's game was rough.
Bob Gerald joining us. It's hoopsobsession.com. Let's talk about Colby Jones, though. I did really enjoy watching him, Bob, especially looking at him. He seems like a guy that can play both sides of the floor at the NBA level. But, coming in as a second-round pick and on a team with a deep bench like Sacramento, do you think we're going to see much action with him if nobody's getting hurt on the Kings roster?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's going to be tough. I could see him, because he's such a jack of all trades, I could see him getting some time. And just, to my eyes, he looks like an NBA player. I thought he was the one guy out there last night really on the Kings summer team that just, looked like he fits. And, I love that he's a rebounding guard, but he's not limited to that. In college, one of my criticisms of him at Xavier was I thought that he lacked aggression sometimes, was just content to fit in and be a kind of a blender and a connector, which is fine. And, that may be his role at the NBA level. But without Keegan on this summer team, he's forced to step up, benefit him in the long run. So, but yeah, it's going to be tough because you got Malik Monk, obviously, he's going to come off the bench as a 2 guard, and they've been playing Colby Jones, actually starting him as a 3 here, but I don't think that's his natural position. I think 2 is his natural position, and but maybe they'll be able to slide him in there and use his versatility sometimes as a backup 3. And if Terrence Davis is down, then maybe he gets some of those minutes, which were sporadic at best, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I like that term blender or connector, Bob, that you said about Colby Jones, because I think that's him, and that's not a knock, but I think the coaching staff what they clearly did in the games you called with your dad on the California Classic. Like, they push Keegan, because Keegan can kind of be that sometimes. Like, blend, connect, just let the game go. But he attacked it, I think, at the California Classic. And I felt like at some point during the game last night, as rough of a watch as it was, I felt like they pushed him a little bit more. And I hope how many ever games the Kings have left here in Vegas, I hope they push Colby to, go for it a little bit. And even if that's outside your comfort zone, that's okay here in Vegas to be the guy that takes 17 shots or so.
Yeah, and they need him.
Yeah. Yes.
This team desperately, this summer team desperately needs some scoring. And, Keita went out, in the second half last night. Mm-hmm. And so then once they took that option away, it really was kind of Colby Jones or bust. I thought they brought in some of the periphery guys here on the summer team. Mike Dahm came in and hit a couple baskets and provided some shooting. Alex O'Connell, same type of a deal. But yeah, shooting is an issue right now for this summer team, the way it's concocted, without Keegan Murray. So it'll be another good test, for Colby Jones to see what he can do as the Kings are in action again tonight.
I want to run back to Nimi Keita real quick. I knew, to your point, he did leave and didn't play in the second half last night with a foot injury. From what you've seen from him so far in the limited time in Vegas, California Classic, and the way he's developed in Stockton, is this a guy that should be on an NBA roster, specifically the Kings, as kind of that 14th or 15th guy on the team?
I think that's probably about what he is. At this point, we've watched him enough to think that. I had some thoughts last year that maybe he would sneak in and be that third center for the Kings and maybe get in front of Alex Lynn, but then Alex Lynn played pretty well, especially late in the season, and they're bringing Alex back, so I think that puts Keita behind the 8 ball again as far as that's concerned. So there are some guys, that's just what it is. You're a deep bench guy, and the NBA's expanded the two-way contracts, and so now we've got 18 players on rosters potentially, and it's pretty deep. I mean, if you there's no shame in it, but I just think that he hasn't really shown anything that makes me think that he's going to be a rotational guy in the NBA right now. And I'm sorry if that's tough to hear for Keita fans, but that's just kind of the way I see it.
Talking with Bob Gerald again. You can see his great work at hoopobsession.com. Kessler Edwards, Bob, I find myself liking him better than what I saw in the regular season last year around, the Kings' top talent versus what I've seen here, where I thought maybe this would be a chance for him to thrive. He hasn't been awful or anything like that, but I don't know. I think I saw more from him during the regular season last year than I have so far in Vegas. What have you seen from Kessler?
Yeah, I think you hit it right on the head, and I agree. I was hoping for a little bit more here in this summer from Kess so far. The player I saw in college, he was the man, in college, and so they went to him, and he provided a lot of offense. And it wasn't just standing out at the 3-point line. I think I saw a stat that 62% of his shots last year in the regular season were spot-up threes, and I always felt like he had a little bit more than that. And some of the times that he's tried to do more than that here in summer, his ball handling hasn't been up to snuff, and he's gotten picked, trying to put the ball on the floor, or he'll get deep and then he'll get a shot block. And really he's had the most success he's had here in summer has been shooting, spot up threes, which really isn't his strength either. So, a great defender, and you can never discount that. We've seen him in summer league getting down and guarding the opposing point guard at times. So, I put a lot of value in that, and the stats won't reflect some of those things that Kessler can do, as in summer league as far as the defensive numbers are concerned. But I've been wanting a little bit more, and maybe he's the guy who will step up today and provide some more of that offense that the Kings summer team needs.
Bob, I want to hop off the Kings real quick and talk about some of the bigger names at Summer League, specifically Brandon Miller, semi-controversial pick going to Charlotte at number 2. A lot of people thought it should have been Scoot Henderson. What do you make of his struggles so far in both the California Classic and the Vegas Summer League?
Playing with a bunch of selfish dudes is what I make of it, honestly. And that's, my wife was last night, Jason had sent me a text and he said, you got to want to be on. And my wife and I were talking about Summer League and things that we might talk about here today. And don't be so negative. You should be, try to find the. And I'm just like, yeah, but so many people in the media that are connected to a team or connected to an agent or something like that. And I think that's kind of the beauty of where I fit in is I can give it to you straight with no chaser because I'm not connected to anybody. So Brandon Miller, the guys that James Bouknight he's playing with in the backcourt, he's not really a sharing type guy. He's out there looking for his own. And I think you could say the same about a lot of the guys on that roster. But I saw enough of Brandon Miller in college as an alert, forward that shoots with good accuracy. He's got good ball handling ability, 6'9".
Did we lose Bob?
I think so.
Okay.
Kyle, why don't you get Bob back on the line? But yeah, I think it's interesting what he's saying about Brandon Miller because I was kind of thinking the same thing. Is he kind of falling under the dude? I'm playing with a bunch of not good players, and this is not good for my game.
It's environmental, right? I think there's a lot of that in what you get drafted in, the organizational support, that kind of thing.
Yeah. All right, Bob, we lost you there for a second. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm back. Where'd you lose me at?
We lost you at just about Brandon Miller and, you not having to be – you can give us to it straight with no chaser. He's an accurate shooter.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so, I just think I watched him enough that I'm not too concerned, but he may struggle a little bit, but I think he's going to look a lot better playing with LaMelo Ball and some guys who can find him and share it and just be more well-rounded team players.
Yeah, and in your years of doing this, and you've looked at your opinion of these guys in college, and so much. I mean, how much of this, I should ask you, Bob, is organizational or environmental, I should say, because I think going to Charlotte is a tough situation. Doesn't mean if you're a good player you can't thrive, but if you're put in that sweet spot of an organization that's kind of run well and has a foundation, that culture that people always are talking about, it just sets you up so much better. So I think this is a tough spot for him to really thrive.
I agree. It's Charlotte has not been a good franchise over the years, and their scouting department, I thought took some risks that I would like to see them go a little bit more conservatively with some of the guys that they have on their summer team, but. No, I mean 100%. If he goes to the Spurs or the Warriors or one of those teams, that obviously would have had to have traded up for him. I think things might be a little bit different than they look so far for him here in the summer. But like I said, I saw him enough in college that I think he's going to be okay.
Bob Gerald, hoopobsession.com, joining us this morning. Summer League, not just for young guys trying to showcase their worth around the league, but now you're seeing a lot of older veterans looking for maybe a team to pick up with, someone to grab them. Isaiah Thomas is out there working out. Harry Giles just did a workout yesterday. Anybody you're seeing out there in that ilk that you think still deserves a roster spot in the NBA?
We were talking about Harry, and Sacramento has a love affair with Harry Giles, and rightfully so. I mean, what a guy, what a human being, and it's terrible that injuries to his knees have kind of cut short his NBA career. The last time I saw Harry play, I saw him play a G League game in the Clippers organization, and he was great. I thought he was the best player on the floor, but the very next game he didn't play, and because of the knees, and he had the knee soreness. So I really think it's as simple as that with Harry. It's how many games can we get out of him? Is he willing to fight through some of that knee soreness, instead of just saying, no, I can't go today. I think it's going to come down to that. If he's willing to fight through it, and if he can physically fight through it, I think he's still very much an NBA player. I don't think there's any question about it. And as far as some of the other guys bouncing around, we've seen some guys 27 years old, 28 years old, still out here, trying to trying to find their niche, and God bless them. I mean, you don't ever take away someone's dream. All these guys want to get to the NBA. A guy like Sam Merrill, who had a quick cup of coffee with the Kings and was, I believe, the last roster cut a couple of years back. I don't know if you remember. He had a great preseason game, was the player of the game. I remember my dad interviewed him after the game, and my dad talked to me about right after that about, man, what a great interview Sam Merrill was. He looks you right in the eye, and my dad really appreciated all that stuff about him. Next day he got cut, and it's a rough life. But yesterday I thought he was amazing. He made 8 3-pointers for the Cavs and led them to a victory. So the dream is alive. I think he has a roster spot on the Cavs, but it's always good to have a great showing here and kind of solidify your spot, so one of these young buckaroos doesn't come and steal it away from you, because they're out here. I mean, it is amazing, Jason. I know you know this just from looking at the rosters and, all 30 teams here to fill up a summer league. The depth of talent in basketball, everyone trying to get one of those coveted, what is there, 450 spots in the NBA. Maybe now it's up to 480 since we're adding another 30 on the third two-way contract. But, I mean, that's it. In the whole world, those are the spots available, and it is extremely competitive and extremely tough. And, you better be a professional who's willing to play, through some injuries and have a boatload of talent if you're going to crack one of these rosters in the NBA.
Yeah, it's a special time out here for these guys trying to do that. It's Bob Gerald, hoopobsession.com. Just give us a glimpse of your schedule today. We know the Kings play tonight. Are you at the arena all day? What's your day like today?
We'll probably get there in time to catch like 2.5 games. I got my wife and my dad here with me, and so we're all kind of rolling together. If it was just me solo, I'd probably be there a little bit earlier. But yeah, so we're gonna try to catch the ending of Brooklyn, Milwaukee, and then we'll watch all of Phoenix and New Orleans, and then of course we'll stick around for Chicago and Sacramento a little bit later on. That's the 7:00 game tonight in the Cox Pavilion. So Kings have had a lot of late games here in Vegas this year.
Yeah, they got the whole. I don't know if that's respect or not, or giving them the worst slot. I'm not sure, but they'll be on prime time tonight. Bob, we'll see you out there. Thank you so much for joining us. Keep up the amazing work at hoopobsession.com, and I know we'll talk to you again soon.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you for having me on.
Thanks, Bob.
All right. Thank you, Bob Gerald, hoopobsession.com. Again, he loves it. The site is amazing. Got to check out all the different things he does there, whether it's current players, next year's draft, this year's group. I mean, he's just got all that content. It's amazing work. Jay and I will recap some of the points he made and some of the stuff. We'll bounce off of that. We'll do that when we come back right here on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Wells Fargo gives you access to direct deposit funds up to 2 days early.
Plus, if you look at the X and Y axis,
what if everything came 2 days early? Like the weekend.
Well, that was a pleasant surprise.
You can't get everything early, but when it comes to direct deposits, you can with Wells Fargo.
Visit wellsfargo.com/get early to learn more. Terms and conditions apply. Not all direct deposits are eligible. Early availability is not guaranteed and may vary between deposits from the same payer. Wells Fargo Bank N.A. member FDIC.
The PGA club fitters at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio know that golf should be fun. They also know that players of all abilities will hit the ball farther and straighter, play better golf, shoot lower scores, and have more fun if they get fitted before they purchase golf clubs. Hagen Oaks delivers the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA professionals. See how the game can be even more fun. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
On Sactown Sports.
I'm not entirely sure Summer League's different than any other part of the regular season, Jay. I think of, we're Kings fans. We want them to win every game, but out of 82, there's a handful of games that are very memorable. There's a handful that are like, just game ended and blended. Wasn't much there. So I think you're going to get that in the Summer League. I remember here last year in Vegas, the first game of the year was the Kings. So you're anxious to see Keegan Murray's going against Paolo Banchero.
Keegan.
Yes, Murray. And That was an incredible game, a great comeback by the Kings. It went overtime. Ultimately, they lost, but it was a really fun game. Then you get games like last night where the Kings did not win, did not play particularly well. You're not always going to get a great game, but I just appreciate guys like Bob Gerald who are just in it for all of it, whether you're getting the best game, the worst game, good individual, bad individual, amazing shooting night, bad shooting night. He's here for it.
Yeah, and I say this in the most complimentary way. It's almost like a sickness.
Yeah,
Like
but he
loves it that much that he will pain through it for all the rest of us.
Yes.
While we're just like, oh my God, Bob is the guy that's going to sit there and give you an actual analysis of what he saw. And I like what he says. He's like, dude, I'm not connected to nobody. So I can tell you if a guy sucks. I can tell you if they're good. I can tell you if they're going to be a mediocre or somewhat decent rotation player.
Yeah.
And it's nice to have guys like that to come on and break down the game for us.
Well, and the other part of the reality of this is like we're trying to make, I don't know if we're giving the final analysis of a Kessler Edwards, of a Colby Jones, Swanson, Cada, Keon Ellis, pick your guy. They're allowed to develop and get better too. So, I mean, like right now, I said it was quite frank. He was the same way. Like I have not been that impressed with Kessler Edwards, but he's not a finished product either. So like, he has time to get better. And the other part, I think you said this earlier, Jay, we're still talking about likely at best case scenario, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th men. So they're a part of the puzzle. They will be important for the Kings, but we're not talking about starting players here.
No, if we're talking about any scenario where Nemi Cada, Keon Ellis, Kessler Edwards, Colby Jones, Jalen Swanson, or Slauson, excuse me. Any of these guys playing 30-plus minutes for the Kings next year, the season has gone south.
Yeah.
So, but it is interesting when you have guys like Colby Jones and you watch someone like that develop. It's like, okay, is he going to come in and be a 20-minute rotation player next year? Probably not. But to your point, they're allowed to develop. This is a guy that I think the Kings would like to see that happen maybe in year 2, year 3, year 4. I mean, think about the amount of guys, Jason, that come in their rookie year, and they're just not much. Like, people forget De'Aaron Fox did not have a good rookie year.
Mm-hmm.
And he developed. He took that jump. And I'm not saying Colby Jones will be De'Aaron Fox, but the bigger point I'm making is when you watch guys in summer league and you see them in year 1 and, maybe they're not getting the type of minutes you would like to see them or think they should get, just be patient with the guy.
Yeah.
And I think Keon Ellis is a guy that's showing that, a little bit of patience. He looks like
he does look good.
He's developing into a guy that could be an end of the rotation bench player at some point.
Yeah. And I don't know. I don't know if this is a case by case thing, but I think it also goes down to the core now how the G League is around and it's established. And now the Kings are going to be coached, from Bobby Jackson to Lindsey Harding. Lindsey was with the team last year. There's such a continuity there that maybe it is more advantageous, Jay, if these guys are going to be two-way guys or back and forth between Stockton to get them more reps versus being at practice and shoot around. Like, I think there's an argument to be made for both things. Mm-hmm. I don't know what's better. And maybe it is case by case let's just take Cada, for example. If he was with the Kings for all 82, barely played, but was on the bus, on the planes, on the film, practice, shoot-arounds, is that more beneficial than actually getting the reps? I honestly don't know the answer to that.
I think it is the blend of both, right? I think that's what makes the two-way contract, especially if you have somebody like a Nemi Cada, where you're probably, when they drafted him, were like, okay, this is like a project, right? You can get them in there. You want them practicing at the level with the Domantas Sabonises, with the trade. And I'm speaking specifically towards Nemi as our example here. You want them practicing with the best of the best. I'm a firm believer iron sharpens iron.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, clearly these guys are not ready to play at the NBA level. So what's the next best thing? Go get reps in the G League. Yeah. So if you can get the experience of being an NBA player at that level while also getting the reps that doesn't take away from what the big team is trying to do, I think it's a perfect blend. And that's why I think the two-way contract is one of the best things the NBA has done in a long time from a player development standpoint.
And now making a third, they obviously see something there, and it's growing, and it still highlights the G League as well. And as Dwayne on our YouTube chat said, it's a point we brought up earlier. Like a guy like Edwards plays better with the Kings main roster. Mm-hmm. I think there's going to be guys like that, but I think then that's what allows you to look at Colby Jones last night. I love Bob's words. Connector, kind of a blender. Yep. I think he could be on the G League team to the lower level than that to the all-star team, and you're like, yeah, that guy belongs.
Yeah,
and he may not shine. He may not be the best player with Fox, Sabonis, and those guys, but I feel like Colby Jones is going to belong with them.
And that's the thing. If you pick somebody in the second round and you got a guy that belongs on the NBA level, a guy that can go in there and give you minutes at the NBA level, to me, those are home run picks. Not everyone's going to be Jokic. I'm sorry. Not everyone's going to be Rudy Gobert in the second round. Like the majority of second round picks, if they get on a roster and get minutes or a solid rotation piece at some point, that's a win. And if Colby Jones can develop into that guy for the Kings, like that's a huge win for the organization.
Yeah, that second unit competition, I think is, when it feels like, Monk's playing for sure. Okay, probably Trey Lyles is playing for sure. I think so. But Davion.
I think Davion's playing for sure.
Probably. Sasha, though.
Sasha's playing for sure.
All right. Then those guys like Kessler, like Colby Jones, trying to Alex Len.
Chris Duarte's on the roster too now.
Yeah, you're right. Like these guys are probably all capable. You just can't play everybody.
No, you can't play everybody. And that's, but that's also the benefit of being a deep roster, because at some point, I think we've all said it, we don't expect the Kings to have the same health luck that they had last year.
That's true.
Guys are going to miss some time. And so a guy like Colby Jones might get some action because of that. Yeah. I mean, we saw it last year, Matthew Dellavedova getting playing time, and that was always an adventure. But, you want a guy like Colby Jones, and when you talk about a blender, a guy that just can kind of come in and fit a role for a little bit, that's what you're hoping to get roster spots 11 through 15. That is literally their role. It's like, hey, so-and-so is hurt tonight. We just need you to come in and give us minutes and not make the offense look like garbage and not be a sieve on defense.
Yes. Just small requirements.
Just play within our system. And I think Colby Jones is a guy that can give you that probably in year one.
Yeah, I think so too. Still to come, crosstalk with Whitey and Watkins, celebrity birthdays. But up next, what you need to follow tonight. We know there's Kings action. Also, an all-star could be on the move. The trade rumors are heating up with Pascal Siakam. Jay and I discussed that next here on Sactown Sports.
The Kings are running it back.
Hammers it off the dribble against Gobert, and he was fouled. Oh, my, what a take that time by Domantas Sabonis, and eludes Gobert. Nice draw, two-hand flush off the dribble, thrown down by Trey Lyles.
And welcoming some new faces.
Yes, Colby Jones with 2 more.
Now they go to Duarte in the corner for 3, and he rains it down.
Keep it locked on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's Tuesday. We're out the door to a mild start to the day as we head through the afternoon. Plenty of sunshine, light southwest winds, and temperatures warmer with highs in the mid-90s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Shop Folsom Lake Kia for all your favorite models at low prices and payments, plus low finance rates and zero down deals with approved credit. Go see my friends at Folsom Lake Kia right here in Sacramento for over 20 years.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is, live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sactown Sports 1140.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at ooma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
My ride smells just right, just right, just just right, just right.
Y'all gotta try that Febreze car.
Just right, yeah. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistency, all over Febreze car clips right on your face. You know my car's my happy place. Keep a smile on my face when it smells just right, yeah. Breathe happy Febreze, la 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 la.
Attention home services contractors who want to grow their business with more leads while leveraging their marketing costs to receive over 10 times the value in advertising. Subcontractors United is offering 40 home services contractors from architects to landscapers to participate in our advertising co-op. For less than $2,100 per month, you'll share in over $83,000 a month in advertising. That's $1 million a year in advertising for under $2,100 a month. And because there's only 3 subcontractors per category, not 3,000, your lead potential is unlimited. Generate more leads than you ever thought possible. Be one of only 3 subcontractors in a category and receive $1 million a year in advertising by leveraging the power of a united group. That's subcontractorsunited.com or Google Subcontractors United for more information. But hurry, categories are filling up.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
Good morning, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. The Sacramento Kings lost 80-70 to the Los Angeles Clippers in their second game of NBA Summer League. Colby Jones had 19 points and made 8 of 13 shots, while Keon Ellis scored 16. The Kings play their third Las Vegas Summer League game tonight against the Chicago Bulls. The game tips off at 7 o'clock p.m. on ESPN2. If you missed any of today's show, head to SactownSports.com and listen to all 4 hours on our podcast and YouTube feeds. Right now, it's time for the last half hour of the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Carmichael Dave.
He has very good sources, and he just kind of tells it as it is and gets to the point.
Jason Ross.
He has a lot of pretty smart things to say.
He's good at what he does.
On Sactown Sports.
JayMarrZZ, you've worked in radio a long time. You know a lot of
Thanks for calling me old.
No, you know a lot of radio people are just by nature insecure.
Yes, it's an industry that breeds a lot of insecurity.
I don't know why. There's ego, there's insecurity. It's a great industry though, but there's just some quirks to it. But so you want like daily affirmations. You like to be told things like, "Hey, good job. I love your show, love you, whatever." It's a little thing, but it's happened every segment because I'm in remote. I'm here in Vegas. You're there in studio. Every time we come back, it's kind of a technical jargon, but Kyle will tell me like you're up or you're up. But he always says you're hot, and
you are.
It's just nice to hear. I'm taking it in a positive way.
I think what really got to him was you taking the beard down, and babyface Jay Ross is just kind of the move.
I've turned heel.
Yeah.
Babyface Jay Ross.
No,
one
you're
of the best.
babyface. That means you're a good guy.
Oh. See, I don't know my wrestling.
Babyface is a good guy. Heel is a bad guy.
Yeah, see, when you expect one thing, I like to go the opposite.
No.
When you zig, I zag?
I mean, that's fine, but if you're just zagging just to zag on my zig, I don't really think that's necessary.
We got to cut that. I want to zag on your zig.
You're starting to right now if you keep this up.
When the world zigs, JayMarrZZ zigs with them.
No, not necessarily. I'll zag, but it has to be like, I don't zag just to zag.
This is an inappropriate zag?
Yeah, that's an inappropriate zag, being like, oh, well, a babyface is a good guy, so I'm going to call the heel the good guy now. LOL. Like, no.
I didn't LOL. I just zagged.
No, but you were smiling. That's an equivalent to an LOL.
Darn it. Why am I on YouTube?
You look like you want to say something in there. Go ahead.
YouTube gave away your zag.
There it is.
Yes.
And it wasn't a Gonzaga. No. Regretted it the minute I said it.
Okay. Do you have something to give away to our fine listeners that are tolerating us today?
For all y'all that like the golf, Sactown Sports is thrilled to give you a chance to check out the 2023 Gold Rush Classic Golf Tournament at the Rancho Murrieta Country Club. Hit up the Folsom Lake Honda contest line right now. Looking for caller number, let's go 5. to win a family 4-pack to the Gold Rush Classic Celebrity Pro-Am Golf Tournament this Thursday and Friday. For more information, visit SactownSports.com.
Well done. It's like you've done that before.
Yeah, no, premier liner reader.
Radio
JayMarrZZ.
professional.
That's me.
Pros Pro.
Pros Pro indeed.
JayMarrZZ. Couple things to follow tonight for those of you out there. Look, you got Kings basketball tonight. You're going to want to check out to see if they can make up for last night's poor performance, but really looking at the individuals, see if the team can find a way to win, to take out the hated Chicago Bulls, the longtime rival Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, no. And, we kind of went over their summer league roster earlier. Any chance Bill Cartwright plays for the Bulls tonight?
Usually, if he does, they go to him first possession to get him going.
Mm-hmm.
Got to establish down low.
Yeah. Kyle Macy getting any run tonight?
Oh, good pull. Kyle Macy. Maybe.
That's what, maybe this could be our summer league bit starting tomorrow. We're going to name former players on other teams. Is it a former player or current summer league roster?
Yes. I think we're going to have to do that. I like that bit.
Because I feel like 95% of the audience, if I said, hey, watch out for Kyle Macy on the Bulls Summer League roster tonight, would think Kyle Macy was actually on the Bulls Summer League roster.
You and I would know, but this would be a good one. We can test Kyle.
Oh, yeah. Let's do that tomorrow.
Yeah.
He's not getting here right now because he's getting a winner.
Okay.
But I feel like that's
him
the
tomorrow.
bit.
Yes. All-Star game is tonight as well. Hopefully you enjoy that. But, I always enjoy a good rumor, spicy rumor. And Pascal Siakam, Jay, has been rumored to be dealt. Then it's like, I don't think Masai Ujiri. He's a tough one to work with. Maybe he's just going to end up. Remember, there's talk. I think Pascal's camp said, if you trade for me, don't do it because I basically want to stay here and I'll try to come back. Well, now that rumor's kind of resurfacing again.
Yeah, but interestingly enough, it's the Indiana Pacers who are apparently.
Why?
I think the Pacers want to make a jump. I think
they're kind of going for it.
Yeah, I think the Pacers are really there where they're like, I think they felt really good about that first quarter of the season. Then Tyrese got hurt and it was kind of all downhill for there.
Yeah.
But they're obviously, Tyrese is the staple of that organization right now. Miles Turner is still there. You just signed Bruce Brown Jr. You got some guys to compete. I was looking over their roster and I'm like, okay, how could they work a Siakam trade?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me if I think this could get it done personally.
Okay. What do you got?
Buddy Hield.
Okay.
Daniel Tice, Benedict Mathurin in a first.
Ooh. Oh, absolutely. I think that's giving up too much.
Really? Is it the Mathurin part?
Well, yes. And unless I have this wrong, or maybe I have him confused. Isn't Siakam in the final year?
Yeah. So, no, you're getting him in the final year.
That's too risky. That's too much.
Wow.
I think. I mean, you would have to know, especially with what he has put out there, whether that's legit or not. I think you'd have to know with his agent and with your group. You're not only want to make a jump, but I think you're also thinking Siakam's a part of your future. You have to know that you have a legit chance to sign him. I wouldn't give up that much for him.
So if of all of those guys, again, when you say that much, like if I said Buddy Hield, Daniel Tice in a first, you're fine, right?
I think so. I mean, Mathurin,
it's Mathurin that's throwing you off.
Yeah, I mean, he's a lottery pick. He's young. He's part of. I feel like they want to be Mathurin, Halliburton. Obviously, they signed Turner to keep him. Then Siakam, like that feels like what you want to be your core.
Oh, for sure. But then, the Kings have been hot on the trail of Pascal Siakam, at least if you believe the rumors. And I do believe that is the type of player the Kings would like to sign.
All right. How do you get him?
It's interesting. So I got to pull up the old trade machine here. I don't know if there is truly a route where the Kings can put together a better offer than like a Pacers.
Do you have, by off chance, I guess I could look it up here too, what Siakam makes for his final year?
Yes, I do. He is in 37.8.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you're the Kings, you got to make some money work here. And when you talk about a player like Pascal Siakam, I guess the point is, I feel like they would want young pieces.
Yep.
But also, Toronto, weirdly also feels like they want to compete because once you get past 5 and 6 in the Eastern Conference, it's a smorgasbord of trash.
Well, and I think I said this might have been when you were gone on vacation that week. I said it's a good thing and a bad thing. I literally feel like what's keeping the Kings from getting a player like Siakam, like whoever, insert star, is Keegan Murray.
Yeah.
And because I think if I'm Toronto, I'm definitely interested in Keegan Murray.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm the Kings, I'm not really interested in giving. I want it to be Sabonis, Fox, Murray, and fourth player, third star, whatever that player is. but I don't think it can be done. It's a weird dynamic. Like there's people on the roster that make more money than Keegan, but he's the appeal to other people. And it just feels like he's the one that's keeping him. I say it's not Keegan's fault, but that's the draw. And I don't think the Kings want to remove him unless they were certain in what they were getting in return was worth it.
Yeah, and I just don't feel like the Kings are at a point right now where they think that a guy like Siakam, again, and you said it, he's in the last year of his deal. Mm-hmm. Could you imagine a scenario, and this would never happen, but obviously if the Kings are putting in a call to Toronto, which I believe they've probably already done multiple times, and we've heard that the Toronto front office is not the easiest to work with, guarantee you the first person the Raptors are asking for is Keegan Murray.
Yeah.
And that is probably, and if I'm Toronto, I look at the rest of the Kings roster, it's kind of like, if you're not calling us with a deal that involves Keegan coming to Toronto, they're hanging up the phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't imagine they're too interested in like a package. And I think this would have to be done later in the season of like Harrison Barnes, Trey Lyles, and Davion Mitchell.
Right.
Like, I just don't think that's appealing for Siakam. So you look at it, I just don't really see a scenario where he's a Sacramento King.
I don't either. And I feel like traditionally Masai Ujiri maybe holds on too long and he's tough. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't know that he'll get burned, but I already feel like they
got burned on Fred VanVleet.
Yeah. So then like, are you starting the tear down? Do they need to tear down? They were good. They won the championship. They've been regressing a little, not they haven't collapsed, but they're kind of in that no man's land where you don't think they can win the East. They're certainly not bad. It's just they're in that middle ground.
Yeah, they're just kind of there. They were a play-in team last year, and that kind of seems like isn't that kind of the ceiling with this roster is currently constructed?
And you change coaches. Like, is it the time now to do it? Like, also Anunoby, like you're kind of hanging on to him, but it feels like there was a window here that it still can happen, but is he hanging on to his guys for too long? And
I believe he's another one that he has a player option next year, so it's possible he could not exercise that, go get a bigger deal somewhere else on the market. I mean, you're literally in a scenario where if Masai is going to hold on to these guys, we've already seen VanVleet leave, as we said. Think about if like you max out as a play-in team this year and then you lose both of those guys in free agency for nothing.
Oh, that's the worst.
And it's hard to think that this way with Masai Ujiri, but that's almost a fireable offense, is it not?
Right. Which he seems like he's on sacred ground, but you're right. It does. So that's something to keep watch. Not only that, you got the All-Star game tonight. You got Kings basketball, other summer league games to check out. Something else to check out is us. When we come back, we're going to have a little crosstalk with Whitey and Watkins, and Crumble Cookies brings you celebrity birthdays. That's all straight ahead in our final segment of this show. That is next here on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa, Thursdays at 6 p.m. on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa, Thursdays at 6 p.m. on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
At Ashton & Price, over the last 25 years, we've won just about every injury case you can think of. Slip and fall, falling merchandise, fell through rotted decking, we won those. Dangerous stairs, falls into holes, dog bites, won them. Injured while pedestrian or on a bicycle, auto, motorcycle, big rig, company vehicle, Uber, or Lyft accident.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa.
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Come experience the AHRNA Classic MotoFest of Monterey, where vintage and modern road racing, trials competitions, flat track, and motocross racing will take place all in one weekend at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca, July 14th through 16th. This event will include a swap meet, bike show, cycle corral, and other family-friendly activities. Tickets are available by calling 831-242-8200. That's 831-242-8200, or visit WeatherTechRaceway.com.
Did you know about 1/3 of our lives is spent sleeping?
Hi, this is Franklin Rosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. If we're going to spend that much time in our bedrooms, then our bedrooms ought to reflect our personalities. I remember many weekend mornings when our kids would jump into our beds trying to coax us to start our days more on their schedules than ours. Naturewood Home Furnishings' huge bedroom sale is here, and there's no better time to find the perfect accent piece for your bedroom, or even better, to start fresh by designing your bedroom to fit your lifestyle. From a new mattress and foundation to dressers to nightstands to lamps and more. Naturewood Home Furnishings will help you create a space from simple to luxurious and anything in between. Just drop by and let Naturewood's team help you envision a bedroom fit for 1/3 of your life. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable bedroom sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water reel.
Hello, Sacramento. Doug Christie here, and I have something to share. Recently, I asked myself to determine the one most indispensable thing I use to do my job, the one I couldn't do without. The winner, forget the phone, which I live on, and the video editor, which makes my life understandable. The winner was the Good Feet 3-step arch support system. Yes, the one I tell you about each week keeps me going comfortably supported, pain relieved, and vital. So it strikes me that if Good Feet is the most important go-to tool to relieve pain or just keep me going, shouldn't you give it a try? I think so. Come to the Good Feet store today for a free, no obligation arch support fitting, then take them for a test walk. Experience the comfort, balance, and support of the Good Feet 3-step arch support system. Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
It's time for the news of the day.
The latest headlines, the biggest stories, hard-hitting analysis.
Yeah, this is none of those things. And now, here's Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross.
Yeah! Come on, Chris, get it.
Yeah. What's up, guys?
What's up, Jason?
Hey. Hi.
Hello. How you doing?
Hello. Good. How are you guys?
Good. Have you melted yet?
No, you know what? Not too bad. Look, if Monty McNair can wear a vest in Vegas,
That's
we can all live, right?
See, I saw that because Isaiah Thomas had his arms like folded, and the woman doing the play-by-play. I thought it must be really cold in there, and then Monty was wearing a vest. I know they crank up the AC sometimes in Vegas.
He's committed to the uniform. He's got it. The vest is the vest. He was at the press conference to announce Colby Jones and Jalen Slauson when he was there. I'm like, wait, he not only had the vest, long sleeve under the vest, and then even like another shirt under that. I'm like, Monty. And I think that day was one of the hotter days in Sacramento, but he's committed. He's committed to it.
I don't think Monty's leaving the hotel or the casino is how I took that.
Yeah.
Question for you guys for the room. Whitey, did you convince Chris to become a baseball fan? Did you sell him? Did it work?
I don't think so. I'd like to think I made a little bit of progress with some of our home run stories, but no, we didn't actually get to that point yet.
The home run stories were great, but no.
Did you watch?
It didn't influence you?
No, didn't influence
any of the Derby? I mean, Julio Rodriguez round one, good stuff.
I watched the first round. I didn't get to watch all of the first round. I had a 3:30 tee time, to be honest with you.
I had a 3:30 tee time. I'm a midday host now, so I golf.
I have this thing called a life now. It's crazy.
Wow.
Where'd you play, Scandia?
Might as well, pretty much.
You're in your Mariner colors today.
Am I?
Yeah.
Seafoam green.
Yeah. It's in honor of Junior and Buhner and
Norm Charlton.
Dave Phelps.
Wow.
Yeah.
Norm Charlton.
That was Ken Phelps.
It is. You're right. Dave Henderson.
My scout said Ken Phelps. Phelps.
Yeah.
Seinfeld reference.
Yep.
For all of you.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, we know.
Another question for the room. How about this? So the guy who took me here, I took a cab to get to the studio. It was wonderful. He was great. I said, he goes, were you going to be coming back? I said, yeah. He goes, I will come back and get you.
Wow.
So that's really nice of him. So is that like, I thought I tipped him fairly on the way. Do I have to go above and beyond now? Like he's waiting for me outside, I think.
Oh, so you have a driver is what I'm hearing.
That's what it feels like, but he's a cab driver. Like he's literally drives a cab.
So it's not Uber or anything. It is your good old-fashioned yellow taxi.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be this guy, but I'll be this guy. I feel like we're not going to see you again.
Did he plan on the last couple of hours where he's going to bury the body?
Yeah, I kind of got those vibes.
Just
Well, at least-
photograph the license plate in his face before you get in the car.
I hope it's at least near the sphere. That thing's amazing.
That thing's awesome.
Buried
I'm
in the
super
sphere.
jealous. I really almost bought plane tickets. I wanted to go to Summer League, but the
I
sphere
thought you were
was
coming, Chris.
it was too late of planning on my end, but this will.
He had to play golf.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes. I don't even
Randy
realize-
was calling.
You had a tea time yesterday, Jason, at
Pretty
3:30.
much. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But I'm jealous because the sphere looks like one of those things that if you would have made a movie like 30 years ago of, this is what Vegas is going to look like in 2023, it would have been the sphere with that eyeball just like looking at you throughout the entire city.
And people would have been like, that's unbelievable. That'll never happen.
Exactly.
And then here it is.
And here we are.
I know it might be coming up on the show, guys, but Whitey, I saw your tweet. Jay and I talked about the Isaiah Thomas uncomfortable interview.
Oh,
Just
my gosh.
a quick snapshot, because I was at the game, couldn't hear it. What was your snapshot of that?
Well, it seemed like Isaiah wanted no part of it because, again, was her name Lisa something?
Yes.
She's talking to Monty, and she goes, Isaiah, come on in here. Get in here. So it's almost like he's like, I got nothing. And then so his first question, I think, was Chris and I were talking about this. I think he started talking, hoping that he would stumble upon a question.
I'll get there somehow.
Yeah, and he's talking about, being competitive. And then I think he settled on, Doug Christie. How's Doug Christie helping?
How's him and Mike Malone's relationship, or not Mike Malone, Mike Brown's relationship?
Yeah.
He probably said Mike Malone.
And I love Doug Christie. You guys know him, and we all know what a great player he was and a great part of Sacramento. But that's the last thing I want to hear about right now when Monty's there is Doug Christie.
Who cares about what Ja Rule got to say at a time like this?
Yes.
Come on, man.
Come on, Isaiah.
That's exactly how it
They should have had the other Isaiah Thomas doing the interview.
Yes.
He would have been better.
No, he wouldn't have, because it had been about him trying to get a contract with the Kings.
Well, more interesting.
Would have been better.
Actually, you know what? Now you're right.
That was one of the rougher broadcasts I've ever heard.
Dude, actually, that's a good point. We should bring all these guys like IT, Harry, all these guys having workouts. When we have GMs on, all right, it's time for Harry Giles to come in and sell himself on why you should get a camp deal.
It's like Shark Tank.
Yes.
You've got 45 seconds. Go.
You're on the clock now.
You gotta hurry, Harry, because Willie Cauley-Stein's in the hallway.
Oh man. Wait. Oh, no. Sorry. DeMarcus pushed him over. DeMarcus is now in the hallway. Yes.
Then it's Georgios Papagiannis.
And now Willie will never go in a hallway again because he's afraid to get hurt in it.
Yep.
And Jimmer is locked in the closet. Who knows where Jimmer is?
Jeez.
Not too
Where's
soon.
Nick
All right.
Stauskas?
Oh, he rocks.
DeMarcus made sure he's
I
not
was
showing up.
going to say, probably on someone's Summer League roster.
How come they're all former Kings? Ben McLemore's working out for people. Like, they're all trying to get in.
Well,
because they're not on rosters anymore.
Okay.
Nick Stauskas is only 29 years old. That's
Sam
crazy.
Merrill yesterday. I don't know if you guys saw. Sam
Former
Merrill
King. He
caught
was crushing
fire
it.
yesterday.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, made Monty Bates look like nothing.
We had Bob Gerald on this morning, and he was reminding us about how Sam Merrill, had that great game in the preseason last year, and then got cut the next day.
He did.
Next day. Tough world.
I'll never
Tough
forget
world.
the Sam Merrill era.
Yeah,
That was great.
Sam Merrill era.
Not easy to say, but it's
tough. Yeah.
Greater than the Sergei Monier era?
Sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
I'm not. No, come on.
Can't
That's
go that
blasphemy.
Hey, guys, it's time for Celebrity Birthdays, brought to you by Crumble Cookies. Birthdays are meant to be spent with family and friends, and nothing brings family and friends together better than Crumble Cookies.
Hi, I'm former Mariner Bruce Bocty, and I think crumble cookies are great, and I think you should try them.
Yeah.
We didn't even get a Mark Langston reference. Chris has no idea what we're talking
Bill
about.
Bradley? No, this is before my age.
We know.
Bradley.
You don't have to tell us that every time we talk about somebody pre-2000.
I just wanted to say Dustin Ackley.
We know you're 12. It's good. It's fine.
Happy birthday, guys, on this July 12th to Lil Kim.
Wow.
Lil Kim.
Wow.
Lil.
Yeah.
We got it.
Yep. She
Is she big yet?
Nope.
Big
Well,
Kim? Well, okay.
kind of was.
How old is she?
Always.
interesting, Kim.
48. I'll say 53.
52.
49.
We have a correct answer. Kyle, 49.
Oh, man. Lil
Nobody's
Kim's
happy
biggest
for
fan.
Kyle?
I was just going off you guys. I don't know who that is.
All right. Happy birthday to Giorgio Armani.
Oh.
Okay.
Giorgio Papagiannis Armani.
Yeah, there you go. Man, let's go. He's got to be up there. I don't know, 70.
He's up there. 70.
Sure.
That's why I'm letting you go first.
79.
82.
77.
Whitey for the win. 89.
Wow.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. Like I said, gotta be up there. Gotta be up there.
Way
Happy
up there, though.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to Richie Sambora.
Richie Sambora.
Yeah.
Guitar player for Bon Jovi, right?
Thank you.
Correct.
Can these things start coming with like a brief, just a slight synopsis of who they are sometimes?
Sometimes it's better without it.
I think Richie's 73 today.
I'll go ahead.
We do think Richie is 73. I'll say 74.
68.
80.
Whitey for the win. 64.
Wow. Whitey killing it. It's the Mariners shirt.
It is the Mariners Whitey.
It's an all-star form.
Happy birthday to Joey Bosa. He is a defensive player for the Los Angeles
The
Chargers.
one guy we didn't need. I think old JB is 28.
That's a good guess. I'll say 29.
I'll say 30.
27.
Wow, 27, 28, 29, 30, guys. We have a correct answer. And it belongs to JayMarrZZ, 28.
Oh,
yes.
Champion.
Well played.
Happy birthday to Rod Strickland. Underrated point guard. Really good point guard.
Great Rod Strickland.
Yes, the great Rod Strickland.
Had to go by the nickname Hot Rod at one point, right?
Nope, that was not Rod Williams.
Okay.
I'm sure he did,
It just
though.
feels like it writes itself.
Yeah.
I think old Rod Strickland's 55 today.
It's too low.
Yeah, I feel like that is too
58.
63.
62.
Sneak in for the win. Whitey, 57.
Nice work, Whitey.
All hits, no misses.
Yes.
Whitey loved Rod Strickland's San Antonio Spurs era, I'm told.
Yeah.
One of you
I think-
three has to have a Rod Strickland basketball card.
I
Right?
got
Oh, I
several.
do.
Several
Confirmed.
of them.
What's coming up on the show today, guys?
Coming up today on the show.
Mariners All-Stars.
Stop.
Hey,
Listen.
we're doing a draft of players
Yes,
with
thank you.
very long names. Very long
What?
last names. Has to be 10 letters at least.
The last name. Yeah, in
So
honor
we're
of
looking
Victor
for
Wembanyama.
yes, in honor of Wemby, we're going to do
Medvedenko, is that 10?
sure.
Jeff Samardzija.
That's who you
That
want.
works.
You
Lawrence
want- yeah.
Funderburk.
Oh, we're
Yeah.
trying to draft good players.
Yeah.
It can be anybody.
Oh.
It can be anything.
Yes.
Whatever tickles your
Wish
fancy.
me luck. I'll need it today against Chris Watkins.
Yep.
He's very good at these exercises.
Great at long names.
Big name guy, Chris
Yeah.
Watkins.
Big
Mel
guy.
Ott. Oh, bad at the
Doesn't
exercise.
quite work.
Yeah. All right.
If you add a few extra T's for
Yeah.
dance.
Oh, yeah. They're all the T's. You count them all. Yeah. All right, guys. That's it for us. Chris and Whitey, have a great show. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Kyle. We're back tomorrow. Stay tuned for Whitey and Watkins next.
Jim Presley.
Get all the latest 49ers news heading into the 2023 season on Sactown Sports.
I think Brock was smart, and we kind of facilitated that he met with a bunch of different surgeons. The hope is he's ready for the regular season. We'll take it as it comes, as we're doing.